Hey guys, this is me. This is me, Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. Happy day after April Fool's Day. I guess this is where we get our truth on. April Fool's was, telling a bunch of jokes like I said, "Hey, I'm dead," which I'm not. I'm sitting here talking, but it was a good April Fool's joke, and I think it fooled a lot of you. I've got something really, really important today. This is going to be kind of a working live stream. Let me wait. So it's Friday afternoon. It's about 4 p.m. here in Baton Rouge. It is April the 2nd, 2021. Spring. So we're in spring. We're in the time of regrowth of the world. Let us heal ourselves. Let us reach towards God. And let's fight. Let's keep fighting. And welcome to the chat, guys. So what we're going to be going over today is kernel flux and kernel flow. And these are, it's not like a kernel in the army, but these are devices that were developed by a Neurotech company, by the CEO, the guy, he's an entrepreneur, and he's done a lot of stuff in the tech world, and his name is Brian Johnson. And we're going to be really, really studying, not in this live stream, but we need to look up, I'll show you all a little bit of his history. We really need to research his background, like very, very detailed, because, I'm going to try not to get into this too much today, but I do feel like this is a trickle out from the military industrial complex, that these neurotech devices are a trickle out from, experimentation done to survivors of cyber torture and victims of cyber torture, those that have died from this since after World War II. I believe these consumer products are coming out by these entrepreneurs and stuff, but they're set up and they're connected to the military industrial complex to trickle these things out to the reasons, right? And hey, Eternity Eternal says, "Hi Kyle, good to see you." It's good to see you too, man. And hey, Christina. And hey, Serendipity Blooming. And hey, Christina again. It's good to see you guys. I hope y'all are doing well. Using some defenses and getting some relief. I wanna kind of jump in. This is I want to hear what y'all think about this, because I think that these consumer devices could potentially put evidence in our hands. I think another thing that they're probably trying to do with the public is they're trying to get these brain recording devices where you can record it out on like a computer program, right? And they can just hack that computer and get that brain activity, right? Instead of having, and then they can decide who they want to target better. I do think there's a nefarious reason for putting out these consumer products. Yet, as a targeted individual, and you guys too, we can take these technologies that are coming out and we can turn them against this program, right? And and also there's a very symbolic thing about this kernel flux. This is just one thing that's coming out that's a brain to computer interface, right? A brain to computer interface with the computer, with a home computer, right? With a home computer. It's not even just integrated like these advanced integrated directed energy weapon systems that can read brain activity. It's not just in the hospital with MRIs and stuff like that that they can read brain activity. Now the regular person in their home will be able to read and record their brain activity. That changes everything. Like it changes the whole setting of everything that's going on. So welcome. I don't see anybody else comment in chat. Let's get to it. Let's get to some of the information. I want to hear what y'all think. And we'll just go through some of this. There's a demonstration that I pulled up, off of YouTube, and I'll just show you guys. Let's start getting into it. This could be very, very important for us. And I hope you guys are just doing good. I hope y'all are staying strong. Hey, Alan. Alan says, "Great to see you, Kyle." Hi, fellow TIs. It's great to see you too, Alan. And there was something else that I wanted to say. Okay, well, maybe I'll think about it later. So check this out. This is the introduction here. I'm going to open my tablet. I'm pretty shaky and tired from the targeting, but this is such important information. I wanted to just do a live stream anyway. So introducing flux. This is kernel flux. There's also a kernel flow. Now the kernel flux reads brain activity, like EEGs and everything. I'll read it to you guys. The kernel flow records blood flow in the brain. Like, both of these devices could be very important to us, because I'm sure that people who are not targeted yet, they're going to be using these devices. Their brain activity will be recorded, and probably, these things will be passed around. And I want to hear ideas from you guys. Okay, so I'm a targeted individual. I record my brain activity with kernel flux, and then I can compare it to somebody who, like, maybe has this, like a non-targeted person who's recorded their brain activity. I can compare that to them, and we can see these differences. It could be evidence. I would think that just recording our brain activity would show abnormalities in blood flow and brain activity that really shouldn't happen to a normal person. And I think that would be evidence, but I'm trying to think of other ways, because when we get evidence, we need to compile other evidences to, I can't remember the word, but to verify. Like, so you get this piece of evidence, you need another piece of evidence to cross-verify what you're concretely proving here. And I think there will be a lot of ways to get this, and then other devices and other technologies that we can cross-reference evidence with. So this is a very hopeful time, guys. Everybody hang in there. Let me read this to you guys. And hey, Steven, and hey, Adrian. Adrian says, hello to Kyle and everyone, getting notifications for your live streams. Oh, that's great. That's great. I think some people do get notifications, but I do feel like my channel is held down. I think after a certain amount of time, like, people will get notifications who are subscribed to the channel, but then after a certain amount of time, it's like there's a cutoff, and then my video kind of just goes way, way, way down to the bottom of the algorithms. And I think that's kind of how they do it. Plus, they have some kind of setting on my channel that's fixed, that other YouTubers can switch, but it's like videos only go out to something like people that are subscribed to you. It's not like it goes out. It doesn't go out further. There's this setting. I've shown y'all in a video. I'll show it again. Hey, Gang Stalking Simulation. Gang Stalking Simulation says, the government is obsessed with our minds. Obama, the Brain Initiation Program, which is a $1 billion program Obama funded in 2008. Yeah, the Brain Initiative. Was it $1 billion? I thought it was like 800 million. 800 million's close enough. And then what is government? What does government mean? To govern the mind. Government, mind control. Government means mind control. Government literally means mind control. Literally means mind control. Government means mind control. Serendipity Blooming says there's something called a neuroquant that might be a good diagnostic to look into, Kyle. Okay, neuroquant. Is it like a quantum? It's some kind of quantum reading in like neural activity in the brain or something like that. I'll have to look that up. That sounds interesting. Oh, my spine hurts so bad. Samsonite says, Frank Allen posted an email last night that our targeting comes from Lilly Wave Tech from the power grid. It's going through lines. Yeah, that is one thing they're using, right? Lilly Waves is one thing that they're using, because they use many different layers to target us. Probably Frank wasn't saying all of our targeting is coming from the power lines, it's all Lilly Waves. He was probably saying that's part of it, because it's definitely not Like all of our targeting of target individuals is definitely not all from power lines in the form of Lilly waves. What a Lilly wave is, so say you got that bidirectional stream of energy that's either radar coming from a microwave tower, probably radar. Now, what that's going to do, embedded in that can be a Lilly wave, embedded in many other frequencies, and the Lilly wave goes past your conscious mind into the subconscious mind. Right, I've done some live streams on the inventor of the Lilly wave where he was doing, or he found the Lilly wave. He discovered the Lilly wave and about mind control and everything like that. But yes, that's true. They use Lilly waves not only from the power lines. That may be one way that they do it, but they have way more sophisticated ways like radar, over the horizon radar, microwave towers with transceivers basically, but really magnetrons on them and stuff like that, so they can direct electromagnetic energy. Within that, they can embed a Lilly wave. So it doesn't, I think old school was like on the power lines. That'd be hard for them to target a targeted individual like they're targeting us strictly from power lines. It could that electromagnetic field or electric field can affect people though from power lines. That our targeting comes from Lilly wave tech from the power grid. It's going through the lines. I mean, I think he's right that that's definitely a layer of this. But that's the big problem. There are different layers. So like, I mean, they'll put an electromagnetic field around your head using maybe microwave towers, direct it, and then doing heterodyning to create the electromagnetic field. And then you can have a bidirectional stream of energy, right, going from over the horizon radar down to your head through the electromagnetic field, right? So they set up the electromagnetic field, and then they use the bidirectional stream of energy to do different things. But they can also use the electromagnetic field to affect your vestibular system, your eyes, and your ears. But then there's also, other than that bidirectional stream of energy, which they put, near infrared, which is photonics, invisible light, microwaves, different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum all embedded in a bidirectional frequency. And then other than that, they can shoot external hits at us too. So if they can shoot external hits, then they can definitely shoot other things to our head, our ears, our eyes, right? So they're working with that's why it's called an integrated directed energy weapon system, because it's integrating many different parts of the infrastructure that they're using. That's why they say integrated neuroweapon systems using over-the-horizon radar, Lilly wave technology, Gwyn towers. I would think that Lilly waves would maybe use Gwyn towers for that. I don't know, but there's a lot. That's the problem. And like I say all the time, and I guess I don't really do this that much anymore because I understand the complication of the world. Maybe I do sometimes, I don't know. But as human beings all throughout evolution, since the beginning, ever since we were created, right? People have been trying to go, that's our problem, right? So it's a problem in the targeted individual community that I see where people are trying to find the silver bullet, like it's just this simple thing. I don't think Frank was doing that or anything like that, so I'm not saying anything about Frank, but it's a lot of different things. They do this for a specific reason. They use many different layers and angles on human beings they don't want to get caught for, because we're like that. Because we're like, oh, it's all coming from this, or it's all just this, or it's just microwave towers, or it's just our neighbors, right? But it's really many things. It's many things they use and different protocols on different targeted individuals. So let's give an example. I don't know, just like different protocols for mine. They could have an electromagnetic field around the head created by heterodyning from microwave towers, and then the over-the-horizon radar bidirectional stream of energy. It has microwaves, photonics in mind, and scalar waves or something like that. Now somebody else They may not use an electromagnetic field around the head. They may just shoot directed energy straight to the vestibular system. I don't know. I think they'd have to have the electromagnetic field around the head to use the bidirectional stream of energy. But there would be different forms of electromagnetic frequencies that they may be using for um, different remote neural monitoring or remote neural manipulation protocols, right? We've got to find out more about this. We've got to find concretely, and this is going to be hard because it's like top secret classified black project. We need to see an integrated directed energy weapon system and know what parts of the infrastructure it's using for what. That's the holy grail, right? That's a holy grail of this. We need to find that. That's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough. But yeah, I really, yeah, Lilly waves are definitely used. We need to talk about them more because it's a frequency that goes straight past the conscious to the subconscious. And what I would think is that the Lilly wave is embedded in the bidirectional stream of energy. So in that bidirectional stream of energy, they can put a lot of things like microwaves to do microwave hearing, photonics to map certain parts of the brain, and Lilly waves to do subliminal things past the conscious, all in a bidirectional stream of energy, right? Those frequencies mix, but they're sending back different signals. They're sending back different information to our attackers, right? And to the automated systems. You know, neuroquant sounds really interesting. Serendipity Blooming says people in the toxic mold illness community use it. I've been wanting one, but it's pricey. A neuroquant, okay. Samsonite says we need line filters. No, like power line filters. Yeah, I don't know if I'd focus on, power lines do have an electric field that comes off of them. They had what was called the Russian flu. When they first put up power lines, people started getting sick because they were getting affected by the electromagnetic fields that the power lines created, and they released toxins in their bodies, and they all got like flu-like symptoms, which kind of lines up with some stuff that's going on in the pandemic and using 5G and directed energy weapon systems. But I don't know. I wouldn't focus on power lines in this. But as a targeted individual, everybody's got to like go towards what they're thinking is going on. But yeah, I wouldn't focus on power lines. That's not the main. That's not the main thing. These are sophisticated weapon systems that use an infrastructure. It's not because it'd be hard to control that. They can push dirty electricity through, like in our place. They can really use smart meters to push dirty electricity in certain spots and like where we live. So they can do that, and they can do that with power lines too. But I wouldn't see it as like, oh, that's what they're doing, and that's how they're doing it. They're doing it through the power lines. That's not correct. That's just not correct. Serendipity Gloomy says it's a special software that analyzes MRI differently. It can catch some stuff normal MRI misses. Well, let's check this out. Let's check this out. And hey, Paul says I pray for all targeted individuals all over the world. Thank you, Paul. Muguet says aloha to all. Thanks, Kyle. You're a good man. Thank you, Muguet. And I wanted to thank Dennis. Dennis donated $100 to my PayPal, and I'm going to take that, and we're going to get a better camera microphone. I've still got some money left from other donations. I think I've gotten about 10 donations since I set up my PayPal. Maybe a couple more, like 10 to 14 or something like that. I really appreciate that. It really helps me. And I've got some of that money. I've spent some of it on food, internet, an electric bill and stuff like that. Things that like trying to help my mom out for helping me. But it also helps with where I tell my mom, my family, I'm doing this, I'm doing live streams and putting out information, and then I get donations for the work I do from targeted individuals that can, give donations. So it becomes more of a concrete thing to my family, because my mother's side of the family is all about you need to be independent, You need to make money, and that's what makes, that's like, what's it called? That is a virtue on her side of the family. So since this is happening to me, and I'm like, kind of my mom's helping me out, the family, her side of the family is like, you're a layabout, you're a burden, you know. So it really helps. It helps to smooth over things with my family so they'll listen to me. And I'm not sure. My mom has made a bunch of 501c3s to help St. Jude. She's a powerhouse when it comes to fixing things. But I don't know, she's retired, and I'm just thinking, I don't know, maybe something in the future she would help me out, maybe to create some kind of organization or something like that, to push harder on these bigger things that are happening at the UN and at the State Department and everything like that. Hey, Alexis. Alexis says they also use electroacoustics. That's why it goes through the ears like Dave K's CD. That's right. Um, yeah, they can shoot directly. See, it gets complicated because they can shoot sonics, like right, like infrasound, ultrasound directly to the inner ear. But then also with electromagnetic fields, they can conduct like electromagnetic frequency energy and microwaves can conduct on the skin and go into the inner ears or the eyes too. So they can shoot like kind of infrasound, ultrasound directly into the ears. I don't know if they would do that to the eyes. Maybe they would do infrasound, ultrasound to the eyes, but they can do it like multiple ways, right? That's where it gets complicated there. But yeah, you're right. They do use that. So Flux, sign up below to be the first to receive Kernel Flux news. I guess I need to sign up for that because we need to be looking at this and how it works. So Flux allows you to be in a comfortable environment with natural head motion, seeing brain activity at the speed of neurons in real time across the entire cortex, across the entire brain, right? So cortex. That would be the entire brain, right? I think y'all can see though how this would be really good for us, right? It could even maybe deter the targeting, right? Deter our attackers, or they might turn off the automated systems if we're recording our own brain activity and they don't want that evidence to, to be found or to be shown. It could even deter our attackers from targeting us while we use this device. So there could be a lot of good things that come out of this. Symbolically, not really symbolically, but this is coming out. This is just one of many consumer technologies that this company will come out with. Other companies will try and reproduce, or other companies will build up. And I do think this is all trickle out from the military-industrial complex, but I kind of want to. We'll talk about it a little bit today. So Kernel Flux is a turnkey, and I want to thank John. I want to thank John for putting this in the live stream. Thank you so much, bud. Please do that, because I would have missed this. Kernel Flux is a turnkey magnetoencephalography platform based on optically pumped magnometers, OPMs, which provides real-time access to the intricate brain activity underlying functions such as arousal, emotion, attention, memory, and learning. And we know that those are things that, with the remote neural manipulation, our attackers in the automated systems mess with arousal, emotion, attention, memory, and learning, right? So we know that our attackers are remote neural manipulating those areas of the brain, right? And then we get a device that can record those areas of the brain, and when our attackers are injecting an EEG, right, and it's stimulating a certain area of the brain to suppress it or to intensify it or to manipulate it in any way, this would record that. And I don't think that it would be, we would want to do it where we're like looking at a wall, right? Where you're just looking at a wall or something like that, where there's not too much outside stimulation, but then the stimulation would be shown with what our attackers do, the remote neural manipulation, right, to the specific part of the brain. The brain recording device would pick up that very aberrant activity, right? It'd pick up that weird, it shouldn't be there, right? And I think that's going to be some really, really, really good proof. 720 sensor channels, 200 hertz bandwidth. And the thing is, I don't know how much it's going to be. I don't know how much it's going to be. I hope it's not over $300. I hope it's like $100. It's going to be somewhere between 200 and like 400. But we may, I don't know. We'll figure something out in getting these and getting the proof off of them. Alexis Bergeron says, I always thought they apply it to a hologram. Well, I think it's like, so they have a clone, like they have a clone of our brain, a digital clone of our brain. I think Brian too is exactly right about that. They're mapping the brain and building a digital clone, and then they do things to this digital clone, like in the software, right? And then the software us, right, with frequencies. So it's like the automated system and the human operators have this digitized clone of your brain, and then they're like, okay, well, we're going to do this to the digital, and then the automated systems automatically do it to our live brain, right? Not the digital clone. So not I don't think it's really a hologram of an entire person, but it's a digital clone of our brain, which they interact with. Then the automated systems do that to our brain. It's set up like that, I think. This is a conjecture because I don't see what my attackers, I don't see the equipment, right? I don't see any of that. I've kind of gotten visions of it that I do maybe think was them, the human operators, like looking at it and it slipped through, but I can't be sure about those. Those may have been psyops. And in that case, if that is true, what I saw with the integrated weapon systems, it's computer monitors and it's like a computer system, but they're the weapon systems that they're using. So these monitors and everything and the computer system that they're using is pinpointing like bigger infrastructure, right? So it's just like, in a place like in an office type setting, but I don't think it's in an office. I can't be sure, but that could have been psyop, Gang Stalking Simulation says, I wear earplugs because that's where they beam the frequencies through my ears. Yeah, you should get the noise canceling hearing aids too, Gang Stalking Simulation. Those earbuds, because the deal is with microwave hearing, they can put an electromagnetic field or a stream of energy to the cranial nerves, and then it's gonna stimulate those cranial nerves. You're gonna get microwave hearing because the brain's gonna heat up, right? The microwave hearing, and then it goes down to the inner ear. So you're using those earplugs. Your attackers might then not just shoot it directly in your ear, they might use the pathway of microwave hearing to the inner ear. So you might want to get those noise canceling hearing aids. If it works though, if it's working, then keep using it. If it's working, even if, this is my feeling on it. There's defenses that have really, really worked, and then there's defenses that work. Even if like you're using something and your attackers lay off for like say a month, you've won. You've defended yourself, in a certain way. But I do think those do work because I do think they shoot stuff straight into the ears. I'm just not sure how much and what different protocols, and it seems like with me, they'll shoot directly into my ears. Well, it may not even be that, because it could just be microwave hearing where they're turned. But I'll get those, how you get the, like, I have the ring sound in my ears, like right now. It's very, very low because I used AKCD, so it's not hurting me. Like at the beginning years of this, it would hurt me. It felt like my head was going to explode. Now I just hear like that. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, we'll come back to that stuff. But that's important stuff, Gang Stalking Simulation. And what you could do, you can get what would be a really good thing, get silicone and put a magnet in it. Silicone with a magnet in it, then put those in your ears. I've got to do this, but the noise canceling hearing aids work so good for me. A little bit of silicone, a lot of targeted individuals do this. Get a little neodymium magnet, you put those in your ears, and that's going to be a cancellation of the frequency that they're trying to use in your inner ear. I think that is a great idea. Whoever came up with that. I don't know who came up with that, though. But I do know MNFers. If you ever say MNFers, you owe me royalty, because that's copyrighted. MNFers. Just that word. Hey, Natsy Nancy. Natsy Nancy says, thank you, Kyle, for all the info. We do need proof to get this program over with. Natsy Nancy says, how did they get the digital clone of your brain? Well, that's the mapping of the brain, right? So you're getting the high-pitched ring sound. You probably got an electromagnetic field around your head, the bidirectional stream, remote neural monitoring. Whenever you do something, whenever you think something, whenever you feel something, whenever you watch something, whenever you do anything, they can map with remote neural monitoring. They can map that part of the brain, right? So they're constantly building a digital clone of your brain, right? They're everything. It's not like they'll just, oh, we're recording that feeling and we're just going to throw that away. Everything your brain does, they put that on a digital clone. It's read, and so then they have a model of your brain to work with. They're saving everything that you think and feel, so then they can manipulate those things on that digital clone, right? So that's the mind mapping. That's the brain mapping, that digital clone. I guess we need to do just a live stream just about that. I do think Brian's 100% right about that. The digital clone of the brain. I think that's because that's how the automated system keeps doing specific things to those certain parts of your brain. It seems like the way that they would save all of that, save everything that you're doing, amplify EEGs and things like that. Hey, Joyce. Hey, thank you, Natsy Nancy. It makes me keep going when I hear that from you guys. And it really I go, oh, I can do this. When I hear that from targeted individuals, Natsy Nancy says, you have helped so much. And Natsy Nancy, if you have the high pitch ringing 24/7, Dave Case's CD would be the prime thing I would tell you to get, because it's the cheapest thing and it works the best on the remote neural manipulation, the nervous system pain, the ring in the ears, the headaches and stuff like that. Anything that they're sending signals to the brain, and then that's hurting your body or it's messing with your mind or anything, Dave Case CD is like, boom, number one. Individual get. Now, it won't affect external hits. If they're shooting an external microwave at your arm or your groin or anything, Dave Case CD won't help with that unless those external hits for you are maybe remote neural manipulation recordings that make you feel like you're getting externally hit. Is that complicated enough? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? The UN knows about this, is investigating it. The State Departments, and I was thinking about this. Well, we really need to go through this information. We'll do another live stream on this. I just want to say, I don't think the CIA and Pentagon investigation is for the public. I don't think it's for the people that got hit with microwaves. You know what I think it's for? And this is just a theory, but it's a good theory. I think it's for internal. I think it's the people in the State Department who don't know about this, people in FBI that don't know about this, people in all these organizations, the DoD, that don't know that citizens are being hit. I think this investigation is for all these people within the system to like make some kind of narrative, so they'll be like, oh, and they'll pull back on their suspicions about the extra awful stuff that's happening. I don't know. I just have a feeling they don't care about the public and what it knows, and I don't think they care about the people, the agents that got hit with microwaves, but they do care about insurrection within their own agencies, right? And you've still got good people in those agencies where if they're like, oh, innocent people are being microwaved to death, they would talk. They would do whatever they needed to. But they're kind of like, oh, I hear about that, but that's not true. No, those people may be mentally ill. Like, people will try and do anything if they don't want to believe something. Trust me. Hey, Anthony. Hey, John. John says my high pitch only when frequency changes or they want me to know I'm a dog. Yeah. I just get it all the time, but you can lower it down, the noise canceling hearing aids, but Dave Case CD first. I would say for any target individuals, past shielding works a little bit. They get past that, but it's good to stack that and stack grounding, but then Dave Case CD and just use it as much as you want. Just, I mean, if you got to go somewhere, you don't have to listen to it, or you can listen to it, like you can put it in a CD player. My attackers wouldn't let me do that. They would hit the CD player, I think in the little laser thing that reads the CD, I think they would hit that and it would make it skip. Yeah, I'm getting it right, huh? Almost like, I'm sorry, I'm talking to my V2K, like the woman's like, how do you know that? It's PSYOP, right? PSYOP, but I do feel like I'm getting information from God. God's, because this is so complicated. Trust me, God's not going to leave us here in the dark. He'll lead you to things, and even just when He's speaking through you, some of these complicated things you'll just know. I know that sounds weird and you. What did Anthony, you can put up stuff that's, you guys, okay, listen. You can be negative. Like, this is a negative thing. You can be like, "Oh my god, I can't take this another day." You can put that in chat. This is not a tyrannical, everybody must be like, we're doing good. We need a balance. We need a balance of complaining and giving our testimonies. People need therapy, right? Like, let me give you I need therapy right now. I need somebody that I can talk to about these complicated issues, of doing this, of being targeted and stuff like that. At the end of, this is a Star Trek reference, but at the end of the Star Trek episode where Jean-Luc Picard was tortured by Cardassians. Cardassians? No, Cardassians are the good ones. No, Bajorans are the good guys. The Cardassians tortured him, and then he had to talk to Counselor Troy. He needed to talk about it because it was such horrible torture. We have to get this out. We have to have some catharsis, so don't worry about saying negative stuff. This sucks, right? But we just have to balance it. Never say there's nothing we can do about it. Then you're good. You say, like I say it all the time. This is just overwhelmed. This is so much. This is so evil. This is it's impossible. It's impossible only till it's not impossible. So we complain, right? And I feel like I do this pretty good, and I want to do it as an example, complaining, but then saying, what do I do about this? What are the solutions, right? Because we're human beings. If a human being gets shot in the leg, they're going to be like, ouch, this hurts. Why the F did somebody shoot me? This is the same thing. It's a weapon. It's a weapon that's hurting us, And, never feel, and Christians too, don't feel like because you're getting hurt from this and it's wearing you down and it's really hard on your brain that you're not blessed by God. Does a person who gets shot in the chest with a bullet or shot in the leg with a bullet and has to get injuries repaired and it really hurts, are they less blessed by God? I worry about Christians sometimes that they're like, well, if I was close enough to God, I wouldn't even be experiencing any pain from this. We're human beings. God made us like this to experience pain, not because God wants us to experience pain, but just how He made us. I want this to be open, and we have to be negative sometimes, but just don't go all the way with your negativity. I would suggest that. Don't be like, no, nothing can ever be done by this. We're never going to get out of this. This is just going to get worse and everything. We can talk about those theories, but the best way for us to survive and to help each other and to stay human beings and just fight this evil system is to have a lot of hope, is to have faith that we're going to find things. There's many pathways to solutions, not just the program, the UN declaring that the program is over, right? And many other pathways to intense relief. So MEG technology has shown value in language and music. The pace of prosodic phrasing couples the listener's cortex to the reader's voice. That's interesting. Cortical entrainment to music and its modulation by expertise. Listen to that. Cortical entrainment to music and its modulation by expertise. So music can entrain you, right? As well as our attackers are trying to entrain us, and that's why everybody says you listen to pleasing music, and that can really help. It can unentrain you from what they're doing. Hey, awesome, Nancy. I try to be. I mean, like, you know, um, I'm no therapist or anything, and I need help from this stuff because there's a lot of trauma and things that have happened that it's conditioned negativity, like a lot, and not even just the targeting, just everything surrounding it. Making videos on social media where it's like everybody's anonymous, and we're in a group that's like very vulnerable, like to people who are cyber-placed agents, crisis actors, surveillance. Did I say surveillance role players, informants, certain agent provocateurs, people who maybe come in and wanna get money from us or something like that. We're very vulnerable to predators, you know. So there's stuff that's not just my targeting, personal targeting. It's like doing this stuff, like trying to think about it. We're going through this targeting, and it's so severe. And if we do something successful against it, like to help people, that's like, oh, that's the number one no-no for our microwave attackers and DHS. Our attackers are going to get in touch with DHS fusion centers. They're going to hit us harder. So doing good things, trying to stop a lot of death, you get punished for. I mean, how do we take that? Like, how do you even process it, right? I don't think you do process it. I think you just move forward. Hey, Jennifer. And hey, Tanya. Tanya says, hi, Kyle. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are doing really good. Hey, Tanya, I got of you and your dog. What's your dog's name, Tanya? So cute. Hey, Dennis. How you doing, brother? Dennis says, hi, Kyle. Maybe some divine intervention on Good Friday. Is it Good Friday today? It's Good Friday. Divine intervention. Jesus, lead my words. In the name of Jesus Christ, lead my words today and help people to understand this. This is Good Friday. This is great information. This is a video. This is a live stream that I am happy to make. I mean, I was feeling crappy and I was kind of like, I got to do a live stream. But this is great information. Listen to this. Vision, the neural dynamics of attentional selection and natural scenes. Dynamics of scene representations in the human brain. So scene representations in the human brain, that's our visual cortex, revealed by magnoencephalography and deep neural networks. So they're already take what's in your visual cortex and put it out on a monitor. Already. They can do that in public science. That can be done. Now, our attackers are doing that with remote technology, so then it's like, oh, remote microwaves. The mainstream media hasn't told us about that. Oh, everybody's mentally ill, right? Society has to change. People have to change. You can't change people, right? We understand that. We have to change. Like targeted individuals have to change and be able to look and see. And I forgot my train of thought. But there's just so many of these people that are like, oh, this is such great technology, transhumanism and everything. They show all the convenient stuff about it. We've got to be pretty tough and people have to know where this came from. So many people didn't even give their lives. Their lives were taken from them to advance this technology. And then you have a bunch of, I'll just say, can I say douchebag? Is that a bad word? You have a bunch of douchebags who've never done anything or gone through any hardship in their lives with these neural things that they're putting on their heads, like transhumanism is great, and I'm gonna cut my thingy off and become a woman and stuff like that. I mean, it's just retarded marshmallows. Is this bad? Retarded marshmallows, okay? They're retarded marshmallows, and they're like all hyped up about transhumanism, and it's just like they don't even think about where it came from. Oh, this was just, this consumer technology. They just got some volunteers in the lab, right? Just a couple of volunteers. And we're going to read. They said that they developed some of this stuff, which I do not believe was the only way. Because Brian Johnson, the CEO of Flux of Kernel, is a Mormon, or he was a Mormon. He was raised in Utah in the Church of Latter-day Saints. He was a Mormon. He left the Mormon Church when he was 34. And as we know, I don't know if this is like racist or something, but the Mormons are very, very connected to intelligence agencies and secret societies like the Masons. It's just fact. It's just fact. So what's going on there, right? I'll read you all that in a second. I use some colorful wording, and sometimes maybe I go too far. But the people that are so excited about transhumanism, they're usually douchebags. Like, they're usually people who are just compliant, go along with society. They're excited about all the colors and stuff like that, and they just don't think about anything. They think about themselves, right? And that's how society is being developed. It's being eugenically conditioned to be like, just care about yourself, just care about your family or whatever, and don't wide world, right? Because things are just too big for everybody to handle. It's a conditioning of just caring about yourself. So this Sunday is Easter Sunday. I'm gonna have to go over to my aunt's, definitely. Maybe we'll do a I don't know. Yeah, we can do it. I can do it. I don't want to promise anything. I was gonna say maybe tomorrow we can do the hangout, the panel, like tomorrow night. That'd be Saturday night, and then Sunday I'd go hang out with my grandma. I don't know. The panel's gonna be in the next couple of days, like before Wednesday. The panel's gonna be, hopefully sooner. Yeah, Alexis Bergeron says rotten people. Yeah. So let's move on. I don't want to read all this. Maybe we'll come back, but there's a better explanation. Increased spontaneous MEG signal diversity for psychoactive doses of ketamine, LSD, and psilocybin. The use of, okay, these are just kind of, I guess these are like research things. It's shown value in recording those things. Let's go to a, let me read this first. I want to read this to you guys first, because this is like the introduction of the company. And Paul says, King James Version, Psalms 41:11, by this I know thou favorest me, because mine enemy doth not triumph over me. That is great. That is great. Keep them coming, Paul. Like, keep them coming. Keep really good verses. I'll just put them up, because that safeguards our soul. That safeguards our spirits, right? Putting that stuff all over these videos. I need to do more. I don't know. I think I may make my comic book channel, I can't access it. Like, I go to my Google account, I go here to switch channels. You can switch accounts to my VW Comics 47. I can't get into it. Like, I can't make a video and put it on it because it's disappeared on my Google accounts. So, and it's disappeared on YouTube. It's still there. The channel is still there. But I was thinking about maybe making another channel and just like doing all faith-based stuff, and then have a channel that's all technical-based, activism-based. But I think that it should be intertwined. I think that it should be intertwined. True Kism says, hello, Vulcan. How you doing, True Kism? Are you hanging in there, brother? We're going over Kernel Flux and Kernel Flow today. I want to read y'all something real quick. It kind of makes me mad because everybody's pretending like these huge devices that you put on your head are the breakthroughs in neuroscience, right? And we know that they put stuff in our body, nanotechnology, implants, smart dust, nanoparticulates that cause Morgellons and things like that. And then we're getting the new stuff like liquids and hydrogels and way past, right? And it passes the blood-brain barrier, and then they can just remotely put an electromagnetic field which acts as the sensors, right? That you put these big helmets on, and they have sensors on them to do that. But the military-industrial complex, these contractors are making invisible helmets with electromagnetic frequencies. Then the bidirectional stream comes in and can manipulate brain activity, right? Can read and manipulate. I'm sure if they want to get a more specific reading of an area of the brain, that they would use that bidirectional stream. Hey, United Uninvited, you are most invited here. You are most invited here. Yeah, Nancy says, thank you, Paul. Scripture is beautiful. And I need to start reading way more of the Bible. I was actually thinking about either here or on DLive, just reading Revelations and seeing what, just reading it all the way through. And or maybe it maybe have to be a couple of videos. But I thought maybe that would be fun. It would be not fun, but it would be like, I don't want to say illuminating anymore because of Illuminati. Is elucidating something where people see what's going on? Check this out, guys. And we're about to watch a demonstration of it. I pulled up a couple of demonstrations on YouTube. So we'll show the actual helmet and stuff like that. So, hello humanity. Hello humanity. Introducing Kernel. At Kernel, our primary goal is to enable improved and accelerated insights into the human brain. The 20th century was the century of physics. We split the atom, went to the moon, and peered at the edges and origins of the universe. The 21st century will be the century of the brain, the mind, and of general intelligence. What wonders lie ahead on the path towards the next great frontier of human exploration, ourselves. And I'd like to add in, as Nikola Tesla said, you will see the greatest horrors in humanity that you've ever seen in this upcoming century. What wonders and horrors lie behind us and ahead of us on the path towards the next great frontier of human exploration, ourselves. I agree with this statement that the next frontier is not space. The next frontier, and it's not the final frontier, but the next frontier that there's the biggest battle on is the mind, right? The extent of the mind, how far we can think, our perception, what does it mean? Because those things can be twisted. What does it tell us about ourselves? How are we going to have to grow even more with God to get past some of those, oh, the brain works this way and it's just a computer, blah, blah, blah. Because humans are not computers. And we do have souls, right? But I believe that's the next frontier. We're ahead of the curve, guys. I know it's painful. I know this torture is painful, but we can do something with it, right? Because this is the future. What they're doing to us is the future, and it's coming along. It's coming out, right? It's going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to kill a lot of people. It's going to be used in wars. It's going to be used to heal people. It's going to be used to heal mental illnesses. It's like on us, it's used to create mental illness or make it appear like the person has mental illness. So the horrors and wonders. Now, I think it's a great disservice, to humanity for some guy or whoever wrote this to just dangers. Because when somebody reads this, they go, oh, there's no dangers. Nobody's being hurt. This is just, volunteers and equipment and only the good things, right? And the bad things are not talked about in this. And I think it's a disservice to mankind because so many people who did not volunteer are being murdered, are being raped, are being their minds are being experimented on to where they don't feel like themselves, right? So it has to be talked about. If humanity becomes a thing where they hide the people that they're killing and experimenting, and then every other dumb person on the earth jumps up in joy about transhumanism and how great and only the good things, and all the bad things about something, all the bad things done with it, that's mental illness, right? That puts humanity in a very dangerous predicament. Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, exactly. Dennis says, being ahead of the curve sucks. It destroyed my life. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man, but it's like we're here dealing with this, so let's go. You know what I'm saying? I agree, though. It's changed my life. It's destroyed my brain. Not all the way. It's destroyed the things that I wanted my life to be when I was younger. But that doesn't mean it's destroyed my life all the way. But I understand what you're saying, and I say that a lot too. Okay, so so this is the part where they say how they got to it, how they developed these things, which I think is a lie. I can't prove it right now, and we'll kind of just focus on what this can do for us, like the proof. We won't get into all of what I think about the trickle-out theory and everything. I want to do a whole live stream on that, how the military-industrial complex trickles out technologies to companies that basically you have somebody in there who's already, he's like in an agency, an organization, right, or in the cult, right, and so he has that, and he's loyal to the cult, and they want him to do, right? So basically, the military-industrial complex creates or finds companies that are completely loyal to them and what they want to do with certain technologies. It allows them to put them out to the public and say, "Oh, I created this," right? Like Elon Musk, right? And then I do think these take some of the primary technology that's trickled out, and then they do different things and they figure out different things with them. But they stand on the shoulder of the military-industrial complex with its blessings, you know. So during nearly 4 years in stealth mode, we identified 2 key factors restricting progress towards understanding the brain. They're behind because the military-industrial complexes of every nation are like getting return signals from the brain and manipulating the brain remotely, maybe from thousands of miles away, with an infrastructure that's around everybody. People, if you go outside, anybody, not just a target individual, you will see part of the mind control infrastructure, microwave towers, radar, satellites, drones. I forget to say drones, but drones are super important. Yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Happy Good Friday. You know. Yeah, True Kism's ass stalking Ben. I kind of want to focus on this material, but anybody in chat, you know, let True Kism know. I'll talk about my gang stalking maybe on the next live stream, or if we do a panel, because I have a lot of information, man. I mean, it's basically the same. There's something kind of scary going on with my grandma, but let's get through this information. Okay, so first, acquiring the best brain signals today requires expensive, complex, and room-sized equipment with the need for full-time trained technicians. The cost, okay, listen to that. First, acquiring the best brain signals today requires expensive, complex, and room-sized equipment with the need for full-time trained technicians. I guess in the public sphere, with this trickle-out stuff, maybe that's true. But these integrated neuroweapon systems, I mean, I think it's like a desk. It fits at a desk. And I think they maybe have like three big monitors, but they have different windows in these monitors for your inner voices typed out in text. What's in your visual cortex is put out. But then they'd have other windows like a clone of your cell phone. They would have a clone of your computer screen, a clone of your tablet, whatever devices that you have. They would have screens pulled up to do that and to manipulate those devices too, you know, using the infrastructure. Hey, Nadia. Nadia says, hi, all. Happy Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to you. Alan says, yep, John, if you keep your cool, it pisses them off. My V2K keep complaining how much this is costing them. Yeah, you keep your cool. You do productive stuff against it. Do productive, peaceful, assertive stuff against it. My attackers are very nervous. When they're nervous, they get violent though. So I mean, and that's what they use against me. I do video, they use violence. What does that make them? They're terrorists. I mean, it makes them terrorists. It makes them Satanists in my eyes. You know, so it's like all they have is violence to use against us. Serendipity Blooming says, my drone attacks are what brought me to Jesus. That's good. I think some of this really heavy stuff can really just push us closer to God, you know. And you see how big it is, and and this is one thing that I've said on videos, and I try really hard, but like, this is in God's hand. This is a big problem. I'm giving it to God, right? But I'm going to put out information. I'm going to fight so we can survive. But in the end, at the end, this is whatever God's will is, right? And I need to do that more in my head, not just my heart. Because sometimes in my head, I'm just like, we got to fix this and stuff like that. And we do. We need to fight against it. But in the end, this is in God's hands, you know. I'm trying to just do that more with my mind to calm down and read this stuff and we're going to see some things play out that are very hopeful for us. It like coming soon, coming real soon, guys. And then we got to really proactively look at these consumer technologies that are coming out, and even medical technologies, and we got to find a way we can maybe even use two different consumer technologies to completely interfere with what our attackers are doing, or at least just get every bit of evidence of remote neural manipulation. The times they are changing, right? The times they are changing. So the cost and sheer size of these machines, in addition to the restrictions placed on user movement and experimental environments, limit their scale and potential. This means that much of the extensive progress in neuroscience from brain imaging to date has been achieved by leveraging only the modest number of hours of data collected in limited settings that do not capture the full richness of the human experience. See, I think that's a lie. We know how long the military-industrial complex, contractors, and contractors are big businesses, right? And they're going to want to get in on that money of consumer technology and medical technology coming out. That's where the trickle out happens, the trickle out of these technologies. So I don't believe this. I don't believe that it's just an independent, they're doing it from scratch, right? They may have figured out a couple of things, but they were trickle out certain advancements from the military-industrial complex. Okay, so second, the complexities and diverse requirements for measuring and interpreting neural signals, which if done from the ground up require input and array of disciplines, excuse me, including fundamental sensor physics, hardware design, firmware development. They're talking about this is the kind of stuff that our remote attackers have. Fundamental sensor physics, hardware design, firmware development, experimental design, signal processing, machine learning, right, AI, and neuroscience. So they're taking this idea, our remote attackers have integrated directed energy weapon systems. They're taking this and they're like, we need to make a system that can record brain activity. We're going to need all this stuff. And it's all pretty much the same stuff that our attackers are using remotely. So that's suspicious. Progress has thus been scattered across companies, labs, and academic departments of the world. And that's not true at all. Progress has been mainly the military industrial complex and contractors under intelligence agencies to and from the brain. Microwaves, electromagnetic frequency, infrasound, ultrasound, near infrared would be invisible light, that would be photonics. These devices use photonics, and they talk about photonics. So the way I think for everybody to maybe learn about optogenetics and photonics, basically it's just like near infrared, like invisible lasers, and they use photonics. It's part of the electromagnetic spectrum. You can't see it. I don't think you can even really feel it that much. It's not like the microwaves. You can feel your brain like kind of cooking, but with the photonics, it's silent. You don't really feel it, but it can manipulate your brain. It can manipulate your thoughts. Or, as in this, it's showing brain activity, right? Like our attackers do that too. Signals back from the brain. They see our brain activity on their monitors. Now I want to just mention Brian too says that it's a virtual reality thing that they pull up wherever they are. I think maybe that exists, but I think the majority of targeted individuals have people that go to a place where you have to have clearance, and it's probably a military base or something like that, or even underground. They have to have clearance, and they go into a place that's kind of like an office building, but it's in a military kind of complex, and they get to work. They go to their integrated directed energy weapon system. I don't know if there's like more than one, if there's one for each target, or if there's like maybe they use one for many targets. I don't know about that. So progress has thus been scattered across companies, labs, and academics. So that's a lie. Putting it all together to work seamlessly is a monumental feat in and of itself. I guess, I mean, that's true. The public sector has been working on things, and there could be stuff that really they figured out, maybe. But the main breakthroughs. So I just wanted to read this. I just wanted to read that, and then I want to show y'all. Let's go ahead and see a demonstration, huh? Let's see a demonstration on YouTube of this. Let me put up another comment. John says, reminds me of those bases on the comic book movies, like the like military bases and stuff. Steven says, Kyle, you see that some guy ran over 2 Capitol Police today? He jumped out of the car and stabbed one of them too. A cop and a guy who ran them over were killed. I heard about it. Like, I opened up YouTube and there was something about it. I think I saw it on like Timcast, but I didn't watch it. But that's like every day. Some guy ran over, and then they closed down the Capitol. Like, I saw that where they closed down the Capitol, but I didn't read all about it because I was trying to put the live stream together. Wow, have they found out who he is? Right, right, exactly. Jennifer said it. It's like this in the Snowden movie where he's working. That's a good. Okay, yes, yes. Everybody watch Snowden and watch where he goes into work. It's going to be something like that. Exactly, exactly, exactly. And it looks kind of like, it just looks like a kind of like command center. It's like a command center, right? But there could be some underground. There could be some in mountains, right? Didn't he go into one? The one that he worked at was like there was a tunnel in a mountain, right? That's the perfect description of it. Exactly, exactly. Yes. Okay, Alan says, yep, all over the news today. Has anybody found out who he is? Was it an accident? There's some violence that happens like every day, you know, and all the attacks on Asian Americans, and I just feel so guilty for that because even though it was black people who like were pushing and hurting and killing Asians most of the time, somehow it's white power, the white nationalism caused all that. So I feel guilty for that, even though white nationalism or whatever had nothing to do with Asians being attacked everywhere. It's like Asians are being attacked everywhere, and it's yeah. I guess I should be careful what I say there because I don't want to come off as anything because I'm not. I love all people and I think we should all be equal. But I think the things that they're doing and attacking white just for being white, you have to feel guilty and evil and you're racist no matter what you do or think. It's just a way to separate the races more. It's just a way to have more racial division. That's all I see in our society. It's not healing anything at all. It's not unifying anything. It's just ripping people apart, the things that they're doing. United Uninvited said a TI, I bet. I don't know. There are not a lot of targeted individuals that do a lot of violent things. It's a point 0.000 like 1%, and it's really bad. Like I know that some people, maybe some targeted individuals are like, well, Myra May did that thing, but then it let people know about the TI problem. It's really bad. We don't want to be known like that. We would rather get a little bit from this or get have the organizations and get awareness out like that than have more awareness of us by some kind of violent event, because then people think that we're crazy and we're violent, right? Because they don't understand what's happening. They don't understand the entire situation. So those violent things, even though it's like, oh, people know, maybe they think they're learning more about targeted individuals, it frames us in a horrible way. I kind of agree. I agree. Brian too says it's critical race theory that is being used to cause all the violence. Again, it all goes back to Plato's allegory of the cave. Yeah, it's like they're dividing people's realities because they're dividing the way people think about things. So it's like people live in different realities and they're reacting to the same world with completely opposite ends of the spectrum things that they're thinking, right? That's it. Yeah, I agree, Brian. I guess we do need to go over Plato's allegory of the cave soon. But it's a pretty simple allegory. You know, you put somebody in a cave looking at these things, and they go out in the real world and they don't understand anything. They don't understand reality because they've been trapped in an illusion, right? They've been trapped in an illusion. I go through that. Like when I think about things and how bad things are because I'm being murdered in my home, I'm in Plato's cave, right? And I'm like, oh my God. And then I look at so much bad stuff going on. I'm like, man, everybody's just being murdered, you know. But maybe I'm thinking it is bad. So in that situation, that's not a good metaphor right there. I'm gonna read y'all's. We can hang out for a little while. We've been going for an hour. This is really just an introduction to this stuff, and we're gonna look into it more. We're gonna see how much it is. We're gonna see exactly what it can do. I need you brainiacs to be thinking about, because like one thing that the proof could just be abnormal brain stimulation, right? And it could show that, and then we would have that as evidence, and we would have it. No neurologist could change that. Comparing it to a non-targeted individual, that could be another form of proof. Be thinking about how we can use this thing, because we definitely can. Yeah, Jennifer says, good excuse to keep security up at the Capitol. I don't know. It's hard to trust anything they say. Yeah, it really is. Because it's like, oh, it could be an FF. They just wanted to close down the Capitol for some reason, and they just, I'll look into it. Maybe I'll make a video. I want to start making some shorter videos and stuff like that. I'm trying to do some other stuff. Expand and stuff. New Type says the shooter or knife guy that was just killed was named Noah Green and was Muslim from what I saw, but who knows really? And that other guy was Muslim too. Dude, they're targeting so many people. Like so many more people than I even think, so many more people than anybody thinks, targeting people and making them do crazy stuff. It's just a free-for-all. And it's like, that's why I want the thought of like we're a targeted individual group or something like that. That needs to go away. That's like maybe in the beginning it wasn't a psyop or something like that, but to keep in this mindset of like, hey, we're the TI group, and it keeps it in people's mind that we're just this small group of something like that. This is a world problem. This is a global problem of people being experimented on and tortured by remote microwaves, which the mainstream media has verified and vindicated that people are getting hit with remote microwave systems. And if people go to the end of logic here, and they have agents in different countries being hit by remote microwave systems, causing ringing in the ears, and they're getting remote neural monitored. This can get signals from the brain. So these foreign countries are getting whatever's in the brain of those CIA agents. That's what we're dealing with here, but verified by the mainstream news. This is a global issue, a serious issue, and just like any other issue that's global, it needs to be treated that way. But they're going to keep trying to say Havana syndrome, and they're going to keep trying to say, oh, these targeted individuals, right? Like we're a little group or something like that. When there's so many people, they're being targeted. Some of them feel like they're, but some targeted individuals, they don't know that there's a group or anything to do about it. They think maybe somebody's just doing this to them. They don't know the extent of it, and then they get really desperate, and they're like, well, they're going to kill me, so I got to do something crazy, right? And it's not that crazy. It's a human thing. When you feel cornered, you're getting hit with weapon systems, and then this high school kid who had no idea what was going on, and his parents wouldn't listen to him, and he didn't find any support group or anything like that, and he's getting gang stalked at the supermarket. That's my conjecture. He's getting gang stalked at the supermarket, and he's like, well, somebody who owns that supermarket must be organizing this stuff against me, is so dangerous. These people who microwave us like, oh, they're soldiers and they've got to do this for our country. What are you talking about? You're terrorists. They're terrorists, you know? You're terrorists. He said, I'm going to F them up. He said, you're the terrorist. You're the terrorist. And then the woman said, I can't do this anymore. He said something before that, but I have a hard, his tone is so low. I don't know. He said something long. He was like, oh, something like that. I guess he was just saying, we got to do this, blah, 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 but in a different way. Oh, I'll throw these in to let y'all know that not all this is AI. There are human operators, because the other night I always do this. Oh, mind memes. Oh no, this information. I'm getting way off. I gotta write this stuff down and just do little videos on it because it's really funny. I've got an idea for people with V2K, and they mess with your visual cortex and stuff. There's a great way that I guard against it, or kind of give them a big F you, you know, and it's kind of funny. It neutralizes the situation. It's like it can kind of deflect, but it doesn't make them completely angry, you know. And I got it. It's called mind memeing. Mind memeing TM mind memeing, and you're gonna find out about it. I'll do a video. We'll do a live stream about it, and we'll talk about it because probably some other people do it too. Okay, let's get to this. Let's get to this demonstration of it. And this is ridiculous. Look at this, Brian. Tell me what you think about this. Kernel Flux technical presentation. Look at this dude, right? Okay, so this is not Brian Johnson right here. This is Brian Johnson right here and right here. The CNS Summit 2020 keynote conversation with Brian Johnson. The video is 33 minutes and 11 seconds. That's suspect, but not complete. Okay, so this is from Kernel Neurotech. So I subscribe to this. I'm going to keep track of what they're doing. But Kernel Flux Technical Presentation Photonics West 2021. So let's check this out. We'll watch a little bit of it. I haven't watched any of it. It's kind of a working live stream. So let's check this out. Oh. I remembered after the fact. Give me a sec, guys. I gotta like really condition myself to now here we go. Okay, so check this out. And this is ridiculous. So I mean, all these sensors from this helmet, right? It's gonna read the brain activity, but what our attackers do, electromagnetic field, or conducting along, and then the bidirectional stream that goes and works within that electromagnetic field, right? In that, I have to say, I can't, like with my experience and what I studied that MIT is doing, I'm very sure that they're heterodyning electromagnetic fields around the head and the brain, and then using a bidirectional stream through that, because there are new techniques coming out that do pretty much this, like brain manipulation, kind of like ours, out in the open.
I'll tell you about Kernel Flux, our whole head optically pumped magnetoencephalography system. I know you can't wait to hear about the atomic physics that we've packed into these modules. Every one of these contains 9 optically pumped magnetometers in a format that we can pack around the head with hundreds of channels of data. But before we get into all that, why don't I just show you the system at work? To do that, I'll simply close my eyes and open them again. What you should be able to see is an increase in alpha rhythm, which comes from the back of my head.
So that's right there, that purple thing in the back. Oh, and much more. He closes his eyes, and that change right there. Guys, dude, they're doing tons of stuff to our brain out of nowhere, right? It's electromagnetic. This will be able to either deter them when you're using it, or it's going to get some real good evidence. He's just closing his eyes, and it's showing this different brain activity in the back.
And with that, I'd like
In
to
the
tell you what
C2.
goes on inside this module. We built Kernel Flux from the ground up, from scratch, because we think optically pumped magnetometer brain scanning is going to have a major impact at a large scale on our means to be a human. And I want to show you the design choices that we made and how our unique optically pumped magnetometer arrays perform.
Uniquely magnetomically pumped, a whole head 432 magnetometer OP-MEG system for brain activity imaging during natural human experiences. So what if you're having an unnatural human experience? You got an automated system interjecting in your brain. How's that going to look? And we can record that. And it's going to be irregular. It's going to be irregular from all the recordings they have of people who are not targeted, who are not having interjections with remote neural manipulation. Boom. Boom. Shaka-laka. Boom. Shaka-laka. Shaka-laka, shaka-laka. Yeah, I've talked to Jen. Jen says, Brian, do chatterbots call people and talk to them on the phone for hours about targeting? Yeah, exactly. I don't know why Brian thinks that. I've talked to her on the phone, Brian. Like, I've literally talked to her on the phone. Not going to read that. I think that, I don't know, I think you need to verify things. Because you've got, I mean, you're saying that, like, you can verify just by, like, listening to what somebody says. Like, but you've got to cross-verify all that with maybe talking to the person and, I don't know. You got to cross-verify that because it's just not true. I don't think anybody in this chat. I know that nobody in this chat is an AI bot, is a chatterbot. Now there might be cyber-placed agents, but nobody's doing anything, that would make me think that right now. Yeah, and Jennifer did an interview on Next Level too. Is it just why? Never mind. Let's move on. Yeah, just try and yeah, that's something. Mm, yeah, it is. United uninvited says horrific insult to injury. But the deal is, guys, and Brian knows. Brian's a brother, and there's some things that he says that may hurt some feelings. He has some really good information about remote neural manipulation. So, you know what I'm saying? Brian, there's no chatterbots in here, man. Yeah, Charles Hall says, I am a robot, Kyle. Stop telling lies about me. And did y'all ever wonder in a hat all the time? It's because, like, this is, I just have, like, a computer top to my head right here. It's just, in RoboCop where he takes off his head and there's, like, all these things. That's like me. I'm like RoboCop. I am RoboCop. Yeah, Brian 2's alright, man. He's not, you gotta understand, guys, he's not trying to insult you. He really believes what he's saying. And he's really, really targeted really bad. So if everybody can maybe just don't take it personally, just let him talk about what he thinks is going on. Don't take it personally, okay? And that's like some of it. We all get stuff wrong, and we know the huge problem with targeting, and I have it too, where my attackers can pump up the paranoia, and it's just like I'm not sure what's out there. I'm not sure exactly the number of surveillance role players, crisis actors, informants, certain agent provocateurs. So I get paranoid too, I think we all do. So we just need to move along. Dennis says, I keep it dumb. Don't want to make my AI adversaries too advanced too quickly. Yeah, but man, we're coming to the end of this, Dennis. I don't think, yeah, I mean, you got to do what works for you. If something works for you and it keeps your attackers at bay, I would do that. But man, we're getting so close. I would really just try and do your best, like, ask God what path you should take, and then try and ignore and neutralize your attackers as much as possible by doing that productive activity. Is tough because they attack so hard, when we put out good information.
Powerful. For instance, it's the only type of brain scanner trusted in several types of pre-surgical applications that affect brain function. This direct imaging of the active brain is distortion-free, even for very fast brain activity, up to 200 hertz. It can power real-time dynamic stimulus, where your brain state can impact, within a few milliseconds, what you'll experience next. And magnetometers are no contact, so it can be very fast to get in and get scanned. But as a technology, it has been trapped by the massive size and rigidity of the cryogenic dewars that house MEG's traditional superconducting magnetometers. Optically pumped magnetometers have paved the way for a new generation of MEG systems that promise to unlock the full potential of these real-time magnetic signatures of brain activity in environments that are comfortable, scalable, and in human contexts that matter. Building Flux has made us start to think. What are the shapes of our thoughts? What would we do with images of our own thoughts if we could see them? What if we could see the thoughts of others and interact directly with those representations of selves? Maybe you've heard of OPMs, or maybe you have.
But see, the problem is, and this is what I said, they frame it as if this is completely new, right? What could happen if we could see what somebody... But this has been done for years and years and years and years, right under the public's nose, to their family members, to their daughters, to their sons, to their fathers, to their mothers, to people all over every country. It's been done to them. So let's go. And I hate the way that that's framed.
Haven't yet. Will that make a difference in the shape of your brain's thought patterns as you listen to this talk? Here is a more immediately tractable question. What are the shapes of the magnetic fields that emanate from our neurons when they fire? This is the critical question for an MEG sensor system, for any imaging technique really, to ensure that an array of discrete sensor pixels sample the image field with the correct pitch. What we're looking at here is an image of a simulated neuromagnetic field emanating from a single, isolated, realistic cortical neurobundle in the prefrontal cortex.
I think this other
one of the three vectors. This would be a snapshot of just a single.
We have advertisements on this thing? Let's see what this is right here.
Array near the scalp to acquire high resolution signals. And to do that, independently of human factors and noise, we built a phantom field source that has a set of 16 precisely fabricated coils in known positions, and each coil is individually addressable. And here it is, mounted in the Flux MEG system, and it's emitting fields from a depth that would be within the cortex of a live participant. All right, let's take a look at the experimental data. For now,
through these
we're
parts of the
activating
brain,
just one coil at a time. You can see over on the left the source space representation of the coils activating, and on the right we have our sensor montage flattened and
okay, so basically they're using coils and magnometers
and note that the pitch of the
read the
sensors
brain
here
activity,
is
some other
pretty
stuff
well
too.
reasonably matched to the spatial curvature of the field from these isolated sources. And the evidence for that is, well, the gradient of the response that you can see.
And it's going to be smaller than this dude's helmet right here. And wait for it to load real quick.
Magnetically shielded room. This room is great for shielding magnetometers like Flux from ambient field sources, including the large field from the Earth, but it is difficult to scale this environment, and it's also hard to have natural human responses in here. I hallucinated in there once due to the sensory deprivation. That might be okay for studying the brain as an isolated organ, but we built Flux for something different. We wanted to unlock live, high-speed images of the intricate brain activity underlying surprise, arousal, attention, memory, and learning.
Dude, this guy,
Natural
he
human
knows,
experience
like,
is an essential part of Kernel's system architecture.
these people are
We
connected
built Flux's OPM array modules
to some of
expand
the ways this
performance
technology is
and budget of
developed,
MEG.
you know, by
And one of the ways
experimenting
that we
on
spend
us.
that budget is on a comfortable, scalable environment, like the one behind me.
Because he's talking about like isolation to that could
Let's take a look inside.
study the brain very well.
We call this environment. It has a single layer of passive magnetic shielding material, and it has some active coils on the walls. It has a wraparound hallway that's easy for humans to get through, but difficult for magnetic fields. And as you can see, it's a comfortable environment in which
So guys, what if you just bought this helmet and you have those you have the magnetrometers, right, that are reading your brain activity? That's immediately going to interfere with everything that our attackers are doing. You know, because they're using electromagnetic fields and bidirectional streams of directed energy. You're going to have all those magnetrometers all over your head, you know, trying to pick up signals. It's going to completely interfere with the remote neural manipulation. So just wearing it will interfere. You see what I'm saying? We got to think of ideas like that, and then there's going to be other stuff coming out. And we're going to be able to use these things and even stack 1, 2, or 3 of these consumer products, and we can really, you know, we can really buy some good time. Buying good time, I mean, like we can feel better, reduce the, you want to call it symptoms of this, but the attacks, and then while we do the important work, you know, getting this thing shut down. Charles Hall says, wait and watch when someone with their white matter tracks destroyed, putting that on. Wait and watch when someone, yeah, exactly, Charles. It's going to look different. And hey, Tess, it's going to look different. It's going to look different. And, you know, Charles, what do you think about you just put it on? These magnetometers are like running, right? They're on your head, and they're putting out like electromagnetic frequency energy because they're magnets. I mean, they could just, it could be kind of like the idea of Robert Stanson's magnetic helmet, but it's like active magnetrons, magnometers, right? There's a lot of things that can push out magnetic energy. Nancy says, when will this end? What will it take? I live in a retirement community and people are dropping like flies. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on that are unfortunately killing a lot of people. With this program, we're getting closer to a global mainstream understanding, at least in America. And if America knows it, then Australia is going to know it. And you know, the public will know it because Australia is pretty close to what America does. Okay. I think other countries would follow suit. I think the only countries that we'd have to worry about are China and Russia, you know, hiding it and just, you know, not putting it on the mainstream news because they have so much control in their countries, so much like tyrannical control. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I kind of forgot what I was talking about there. Joyce Keller says, they use heat frequency on me all the time, daily. Would like to give it to them. Yeah. Got to get that. You know, the grounding. If you're getting a lot of like heat on your body and you feel like everything's external, what I would suggest first is use Dave K's CD. See if that changes anything that feels external. If it doesn't, like if you use it for a month and you're still getting powerful external hits, well, I would just use Dave K's CD and the grounding. You know, the grounding's gonna really stop the external hits because your skin is conductive. The microwave hits your skin and it has those positive ions, right? And it burns, right? But if you're draining out, like you're getting an external hit on your leg or your groin, and you've got the grounding on, your skin's not conductive, so it's not gonna latch on. The beam's not gonna hit your skin as hard, and it's gonna flow out of the grounding, right? So grounding is like number one. Dave Case CD is number one. Noise canceling hearing aids are number one. A lot of headgear to cover the neck and stuff. Good mixed materials to cover this area. And then the eyes, you want to cover the eyes. I would say Nadia said the red sunglasses, not the polarized sunglasses, helped her more when she slept. I kind of trust her judgment on that. But you want to get the polarized sunglasses or the red blue blockers. I think I'm going to get those because I think she knows her stuff, you know. Hey, Jules. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says Dave Case's CD does help. Yeah, it's the thing that I found helps me the most. It especially helps if you're using a lot of other stuff with it. You know, like the passive headgear, the lead cap. And there's a better lead cap. We'll wait till another live stream. So let me show you. Let me show you guys this presentation. That was a kind of a boring presentation. This guy put together a way better presentation, but it's for kernel flow. So let's read about kernel flow real quick. Kernel, hello humanity. Hello humanity. This is their little letter to humanity was, hello humanity, we're gonna give you this consumer brain recording device, then we're gonna hack into your computer and we're gonna hack in through the device and we're gonna be able to get more brain activity from more people. You see, they're starting to give people, just like those wireless earbuds, those are transceivers, which they can actually bounce signals into the inner ear and do mind control with them. Like I told y'all, they're making the equipment with which to kill them, with which to torture them, with which to get signals from their brain, with which to get biometrics from their body, making people buy the stuff instead of just involuntarily, remotely hitting them and everything like that. They're going to make people buy the devices with which they will then biometrically read everything about their brain and everything like that. But for us, we're already recorded, right? Our brain's already remote neural monitoring, so we get these devices. Just the initial, what it does, it could completely interfere with what they're doing. Plus, you get that, dude. If they're still doing electromagnetic fields around your head and the bidirectional stream and everything, and doing the remote neural manipulation, so you got the device going and it's reading your brain activity, then they're trying to do all this stuff through. I mean, it could create like static on the screen. It could create this proof of like, wow, this shouldn't be happening, right? Right? Let's think of more stuff like that with flow and flux. Flow, it measures the blood flow to your brain, which is a huge deal with targeting. Dr. James Udorno talks about the vestibular system. There's cavitation in the blood vessels that run to the brain, and that's part of how they do voice to skull. It's part of how they do remote neural manipulation. That cavitation of blood is very kind of, I don't even think we need to get into those details, you know. Tess says, I agree, Greg, but you know it's all a cover for the crime, so I don't pay it any attention. What was that? Greg says, me also, I'm 60 years. You don't get schizophrenia at age 50. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, but Greg, that's what they're doing now. I even talked to my psychiatrist about that. What they're doing now is they're changing the DSM to say, oops, we found out that 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 90-year-olds can develop schizophrenia. We were wrong about that. Whenever we were learning about schizophrenia, we were doing all the stuff. We were learning about who got it and doing the whatever. Not a poll on it, but they would know the percentages of what age groups get schizophrenia throughout from like 1900 to the year 2000, and they show that it's like their teens to when they're 30, and it's mostly men and stuff like that. Maybe when you turn 40 or whatever, a little bit after 40, changed all that. Oh, we just didn't know throughout the years. How could a psychiatrist just go, oh, we just didn't know that, it's something new, and we're just going to put it in the DSM as if it always existed? But it's a complete change. They changed it in the DSM because so many older people are being targeted, are being mind controlled. Like they made the DSM with targeting in mind. They said if somebody says the government's messing with them or they're being hit with any kind of raise or anything like that from the government, then they're insane. And they say they're implanted, they're insane. And then they went ahead and did that. Then they went ahead and started these programs with the DSM and the psychiatrist, psychiatric reprisal, right? I hope that changes because there's some psychiatrists that I know that are very nice and they do want to help people, you know. Nancy says, I wear EMF eye covering to sleep and brain and neck mesh headgear to sleep. If I forget, I wake up with brain wiggling. Yeah. Last night I had everything on. I had my positive affirmations, Dave Case CD, headgear, the lead cap, right? And I had my polarized sunglasses on. But during the night I wanted to roll over and I took them off. And then this morning, like everything was pretty good. I felt different. It didn't feel like the burning fibromyalgia down my spine as much, but I felt real shaky. I felt real nervous and shaky, and then I put the polarized sunglasses on, and that feeling kind of went away. So I think I was doing everything right. I had my grounding on and all the headgear, Dave K. CD, but then I took those off in the night, and then they had their opening, right? This is so crazy that your eyes and your ears are gateways to the brain, your transcranial nerves, they can go straight to the brain. They've got all these protocols where it's like, okay, you're blocking this, you're blocking that, but oh man, I just want to give my eyes a break. Okay, and then they're on the ball. They're using your eyes, you know. So unbelievable. I understand why people don't believe it. It's so unbelievable, but it is happening. Greg, well, I don't want to get into that conversation, but Greg Ledbetter says schizophrenia is a man-made disease. I don't think so. I mean, I think there's real schizophrenia, but in that you gotta imagine there's scientists that were many scientists were hired to study mental illness and then tell these programs, teach the people that were working and how to mimic a mental illness, right? So they had to have real mental illnesses to mimic, to try and, like, when they're targeting us, to make it look like that, right? So I do not think that every mental illness, or like, I don't think schizophrenia is man-made. I do think it's a real brain disorder. Dopamine can be thrown out of whack. People can get auditory hallucinations if, their auditory cortex is damaged or something like that. But I can see why a lot of target individuals, because of what's happening to us and how they're saying we're schizophrenics, would say, like, oh my God, schizophrenia is just made up. And everybody who had schizophrenia was just targeted. But I don't think that's true because there were so many scientists that were studying how to use a real mental illness, how to make somebody look like they had that real mental illness, right? There's some good concrete proofs that that mental illness does really exist. And a good sign of that it was real schizophrenia is if the person takes medication and it changes it, right? And that would be a good litmus test there. But I see why you think that. Charles also says, I swear when the shoe gets put on the other foot, I'm going to act like they are crazy, act like I don't know them, just like they did me. Just act like they're crazy now. They're crazy murderers, The thing that, like, I can totally sit and like think or talk in a way where my arguments, like, to my attackers, where my arguments are way better than theirs. All the dude says is just like, we've got to do this. I don't care about what's going to happen. I don't care. He doesn't care. He's doing his mission, right? So it's an easy argument. Like, you don't just follow orders when the only people following orders in the world are doing evil stuff. You stop following orders. When it becomes like killing people 24 hours a day, you don't follow that order if you're a soldier, right? You're not a soldier if you're following those orders. But he has the power to hurt my brain, to freeze my brain up, to hurt my body, right? To send pain signals. So he wins the argument. He doesn't win the argument, but in his head, he wins the argument because he can torture me. Like, hey, you shut up. Actually, like I told y'all, if I have a good point, if I'm like on like something they don't want to hear, because I'm telling them how evil they are and what this is going to cause, the deaths of so many women, children, and men, like all over the world, and what's happening. They'll just freeze my memory, right? Memory dissolution. Hey, M. Tanner Kramer. M. Tanner Kramer says, I remember Mariana Mariadio studied this and found that schizophrenics do not care about collecting evidence. Yeah, there's real schizophrenics, and they don't do activism. They don't say, maybe since targeting has become, like, so many people are being targeted and there's so much discussion about it. I do think there are some schizophrenics that are like, I'm not schizophrenic, I'm targeted. I think that complication does happen. I'm not saying any of y'all in chat are like that, or me. I don't know if I've met any of those people, maybe on calls, but I think that is a real thing. I think that's a real thing where somebody does have a mental illness, but they're like, oh, I know they really think they're targeted. They're like, oh, well, I'm targeted. That's what all this craziness, but they might have real mental illness. This is complicated. This is this or that thing. This is the reason that these evil things, people have a hard time with them, is because they're so mixed in, right? Just think about our gang stalking. I know that some people that I think are gang stalking me probably are not gang stalkers. Most of them are. Like, I get it right, but it's meant to be, to give you those conditional triggers and things like that, and then maybe you're wrong about some stuff because it all kind of flows in together, right? They want to make it confusing and mixed in with things that look like real life. That's the number one thing of how they go about this, is trying to just make it all look like it's just natural insanity from us, yeah. Tanya says they are going to be put on a list and they are next to be tortured. That is why this program works. Yeah, they'll get rid of these people. These people know way too much. But if you just want, we'll watch Serenity. We'll watch like the first episode of Firefly and then Serenity. We'll do that like one night. Watch those two things. And the villain in that movie, that's our attackers. That's your attackers. The villain in that movie is your attackers. They don't care. They don't care. The guy in that movie, he has this line, and he says, "Secrets aren't my problem. Keeping them is." So he's saying he doesn't care about what's being hidden by these generals and stuff like that. He's this assassin guy. He just cares about keeping it. That's his mission, right? He cares about his mission. And that's what we're dealing with. These people aren't looking at the big picture. They're not like, oh, well, the children they have are going to be hurt in the future. So many people, America's being destroyed. Other countries are being... They look at... They're just doing their mission. And they believe in that. They're believers. These people are believers. They're not Christians, but they believe. They're believers. You see why belief is so important when you're a good person, because we're up against people who believe hard. Watch that movie. We'll watch it. We'll watch it on movie night. We're going to watch Willow, though, next. And then maybe after Willow, I really want to watch Blade, but I want to give the ladies a pick. Just the lady-targeted individuals, some picks that y'all want to do. We'll maybe watch Willow and then another movie and then ladies pick. Because I'm going to be watching a lot of, like, real... violent movies. Hey, DePlume. And John says, I want to forgive them, be bigger than them. Give that to God. Say, I don't know if I can forgive them, but God, you just take this from me. And then he'll fix it. So this is Kernel Flow, be part of a new era. So we looked at Flux, and this is Flow. Leading organizations will leverage Kernel Flow to chart new territory, navigating us to a new frontier of neuroscience everywhere. Q3 2021, so what's that? That's going to be, what's Q3? I guess that's going to be the summer. It's going to be maybe after the summer, maybe August or September 2021. Pre-sales for that. But I don't know. This would be a good device because our blood is not flowing right when they're targeting us. They're doing specific things. So, but I think the flux one where it's showing brain activity would be the better proof right now. Something we could deal with easier. Flow is the first commercially scalable time domain near infrared spectroscopy TDFNIRS system in history. So near infrared, that's photonics. Near infrared is invisible light. It's laser, but it doesn't look like a laser. It looks like nothing. To the human eye, it looks like nothing, but it's like a laser. It's photonics, and it's called optogenetics, using photonics to manipulate neurons, right? There's a bunch of stuff that they're using. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're using many different things on many different targeted individuals. I guess none of us would be. So kernel flow is a non-invasive brain interface which records real time. Would they call our non-invasive means non-surgical, right? So I guess they would even call the remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring to us, it's remote, but I think they would still call it non-invasive because they're not cutting open. But I'll tell you what, man, my attackers, they'll shoot an external stream at microwave like at this temple, and I get shooting pain all up here, and then they're doing the remote neural manipulation. It's the most invasive thing I could ever imagine. So I would never describe our attacks as non-invasive, but I guess they mean non-surgical. It means you're not putting anything inside of the brain, which with which this device would be true. Got ringing from this noise. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm gonna have to change the back. Okay, Ismis Erie says consciousness transfer in a technological enslavement. Look at my videos. Myself, Phil Leak, and Max Spears used in the same program. Yeah. And rest in peace, Phil. So check out MISEEIRE. Check out his channel because he's talking about consciousness transfer in a technological enslavement. Yeah, Steven says non-invasive would be out of the body. Yeah, it means like they're not cutting open the brain and putting sensors into the brain. But you know, with our attacks, I would say it's very invasive because we're getting nanotechnology, implants, and things like that, things that go past the blood-brain. So it's not like they're cutting open our head, but they're getting things in our system that are invading our blood-brain barrier and sitting on the brain, right? So I'd call that very invasive. They've just learned how to do surgery without cutting people open, and then they say it's non-invasive, politically correct, not to scare people. I mean, for this it's true. For this it's true. Dennis says, I've questioned myself early on, then the attacks got more and more sensitized. I can feel them even on low now, because pains aren't natural feelings like shocks and migraines, muscle stimulations, and such. Yeah, it's not like a shock or, you know, what I experience is just heat and then stinging in the nerves in my head and then migraines and then they'll heat up the sides of my head right here and then everything else is like, well, they'll sometimes externally hit me. Like right now, I can feel heat right here. I can feel heat like a wide beam right here. So it looks like they're hitting me in the side of the head right here. These I really recommend these. You know, I just wear them for videos, but I really, really recommend them. Yeah, DePlume says, right, I've been zapped with headaches today. I usually don't use the word zap. Zap makes me think like, ooh, you're zapped. And it's like on the outside of your skin, right? And it's not that bad. It's just zap. I usually, it's because these are streams of energy. It's streams of microwaves. Like, so I never get like zapped. I know there's that book by the person who was a targeted individual that was like, Zap Nation or something like that. But zap is like a word. When I think of that, I think about somebody going ooch, like they got zapped, you know. But these are streams of microwaves that just go into the skin and just sit there and heat up the skin, right? And it's just continuous streams of energy. Now, I guess maybe some targeted individuals, maybe y'all experience something a little bit different. Maybe there are zaps and electrical. It's like I know because I know that happens too. Yeah, that happens too. It's just mine is like a stream of energy just to the head or to the groin. It's just and I can feel the stream of energy. And then a lot of the times it's like heat. They can do a lot of stuff around the sides of my head, which make me think that well, it's not. I've studied this. I've studied what MIT is doing. So electromagnetic field around the head, and then I don't. I guess I do feel heat from the bidirectional stream. Causes pressure on the top of my head a little bit. New Type says, how is it that no blind people have ever been diagnosed with schizophrenia? Are they projecting holographic light diffraction patterns at our exact location that our eyes can't see but are sure about that, New Type? Are you sure there's no blind people with schizophrenia? I think there probably are blind people who have schizophrenia. I want to look that up. I want to look that up. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right, but I want to look that up. Are they projecting holographic light diffraction patterns at our exact location that our eyes can't see but our brain does? Well, yeah. I mean, it's photonics. It's not really holographic light diffraction patterns. It's photonics. It's like near infrared or near. It's like invisible light that would be like a laser type of light, but it's on the electromagnetic spectrum. You can't see it, and then maybe they'd shoot it at your eyes, and then it gets a signal to your occipital lobe in your visual cortex, and it can make you see things in line of sight, or it can put things in your visual cortex, right? But the hologram, I don't know. TI's used the word holographs a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I want to learn more about. I've heard a lot of target individuals talking about holograms. I've never had that experience, so I'm not going to say it's not a hologram. But what I think is happening there, this is just what I think, and I might be wrong, but I think that it's remote neural manipulation, and those people can see something in their line of sight that looks like a hologram because it's being done in your brain. Like they're doing a signal and they're controlling what light. Because they've done that with like things that look like big orbs to me. That's kind of maybe with it just doesn't work where I can see things in front of me because people's brains work differently. You know, people's brains work a lot differently. I gotta check that out. Are you sure that no blind people have ever had schizophrenia? That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting, and the medical community should know about that because then you'd know that it's something with sight that has to do with schizophrenia. But bottom line, mental illnesses do exist. They do because they modeled targeting to target somebody to try and make them look mentally ill. They modeled it off of real mental illnesses, you know. So real mental illness does exist. Stephen says, yes, what you are discussing as far as targeting in New Age MK Ultra would be considered invasive. Yes, definitely, Steve. Because they're putting all this crap in our body, and even just just microwaving the head to do things inside the brain, it's invasive. But with new technology, they can kind of skirt around and use these politically correct words to not stir up the public, to not get the public scared. Dennis says, pressure on the temples or the vascular constriction on back of the head and neck, bad. Yeah. Microwave pulses. Yeah. Needles in the eyes. United, uninvited. You need to get some polarized sunglasses or the red ones. I just need to do a quick video on those red ones that Nadia was talking about. That's a good idea. Dennis says, I massage the veins around scalp and neck. It opens up the vascular region. That's a good idea. Um, okay, Tanya says everyone watch the movie Healing Australia. It's very good. You got some good movie recommendations, Tanya. We gotta watch some of those on movie night. But first, we gotta do our panel. Thinking maybe I don't know, maybe tomorrow night. Yeah, we might as well do it tomorrow night. We can do it tomorrow. I can do it. I can do it. I just don't want to plan anything because my attackers can really get stuff ready. Jules says, what does it mean if they don't want you to have flight and fight stress reactive? I don't know. My attackers do the fight and flight feeling all the time, you know. So Kernel Flow is a non-invasive brain interface which records real-time cortical hemodynamics, so that's blood flow in the brain, right, to establish precise patterns of brain activity. Our whole head coverage brain interface connects easily via USB-C features. And it's like, what's the wireless stuff on this? You know, is anybody going to be able to get this, the brain activity that you record? So this is some Flow at Photonics West 2021. We're going to watch some of that. The technical presentation of Kernel Flow as part of this year's SPI Photonics West conference. We're going to watch a little bit of optical brain recording technologies, including TD FNIRS, and HD DOT have shown value in attention focus, cognitive load, social experiences, e-light performances, aging, mental health, pain, stroke, and TBI. Now, when you know, I look at these and they're like, you can record brain activity with these devices, right? They say you can record your brain activity and see, and it's just you record it and it's fun. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why anybody except us would want to do this. You know, to prove that we're being remotely interfered with remote neural manipulation and torture externally, right? But I say they're going to put out these devices, then 3 years go by and they're going to go, hey, we've got an upgrade. We've got an upgrade to that device where you can read out your brain activity. You can change your brain activity. We got an upgrade to it. You just put this on each sensor, blah, blah. We got some new software for you to add. Now you can make yourself feel good thought, you know, happy, blah, blah. There's going to be so much stuff coming out in the consumer market, guys, that's like change your whole mood, change the resonance of your brain. These things will be weapons, and they're already coming out. There's already devices like this. So please, you know, just anybody who's like, oh my God, we're never going to do, there's so much stuff happening. It's brewing, and we're going to use it. We're going to figure out ways to use this stuff. So don't lose hope, you know. N. Tanner Cranmer says, Kyle, would you be interested in doing a live stream regarding forced speech? Yeah, I'll do that. I don't, you know, mine, with my attackers, they do like conditioning and stuff like that, and then I'll say stuff, but they're not literally forcing it out. It's like mind control and like what I think I want to talk about and stuff like that. But yeah, we could do that. Do you want to come on? Do you want to come on here? Because you just email me if you want to come on, and then, you know, we'll do like 30 minutes off, not live. You know, or we can do this, since we're all targeted. There's this guy on, I forgot his name, but he does like live streams and interviews, and then they'll like do commercials, right? And they'll talk about what they're going to talk while the live stream's going, so people can see what they're going to talk about next. They just kind of they show people how the meat is made, right? How the beef is made, how the beef is grind, something like that. But they show people, like, so I mean, we could even get on and talk about what we want to talk about. You know, I just want to make things, when if anybody does come on, I want to make things very casual and relaxed. That's the best way that we get the best information, right, out to everybody. Because we're targeted, we're stressed, our attackers are going to be doing stuff to us during the interview. So I want to make sure that if we do stuff like that, you know, it's just very, very relaxed. And then we're just kind of talking, and that's when when you're calm, you can think a lot better, you know. Okay, so New Type put something in there. New Type said, people born blind don't develop schizophrenia. Baffling doctrine. Wow. I've got to read that, man. That is crazy. That's crazy. So maybe it's too much input. Like it's so, because dopamine, when you're like looking at stuff and you're interacting with stuff, that's what messes up your dopamine, right? But I don't see how a blind person, like maybe would, like one, at least one blind person, maybe, no, I don't know. Maybe it's input. It's in because it has to do with your dopamine levels, and maybe blind people don't get so much input. They can only hear, so they're not getting all these, from computer and TV and just so much input. And then I don't know. That's so weird, man. That's weird. Oh no, M. Tanner Kramer says, Happy Easter, Tanya. I just lost my ability to speak to Jim because my attackers made me use forced speech against his wife. Hey, Honey Ann. Usually I can control. I don't know. I see mine. It's like I'll say stuff that I thought that I wanted to say, and I'll be like, I didn't want to say that. And it's like my attackers will do it more subtly. It's not like forced speech where I know it's forced speech. Yeah, that sucks, man. If they can make you say, I would use Dave Case's CD more. I don't know. You gotta stop that forced speech, definitely, because that can get you in trouble, man. Myron, no, what's the guy? Tyrone Dew. Tyrone Dew had a lot of forced speech, and he said that he got kicked out of a lot of places for it. It is vulcanwolverine@gmail.com. Vulcan, and I changed on my tablet. I had the keyboard in the center, and so I couldn't even see what I was typing. So I did the split keyboard on it. It's way better. Oh, it's so great. It is so great. I can actually see what's on the screen and type. I don't know why I didn't do that before. Okay, so I want y'all to check out this presentation here. So yeah, if you want to come on and do like a live stream and just casual conversation about what you experience and stuff like that, that'd be totally cool. We can talk offline. We can do get on StreamYard, not go live until you feel comfortable. But I want to make it just comfortable, just talking. It's not some kind of organized interview. And maybe let me think of some questions. Let's talk, and I can come up with maybe some questions for you and stuff like that. Okay. New Type says, I don't mean holograms in that sense that TIs say they see. I mean these kind of holograms. Controlling the brain with holograms, Simon's Foundation. Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about that. Like, I guess... because I see it as signals to the brain and stuff like that. Controlling the brain with holograms. See if you can add it. Just try again, New Type. I'd like to look more into that because I don't look into that a lot. Like, because I know there is some weird stuff with they could use certain electromagnetic fields and maybe more invisible light and create a hologram in the brain to do stuff. Yeah, what you're saying, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I haven't looked into that. Okay. Let's see. So optical brain recording technologies, including TDIT. Okay, so and let's show the little presentation on Kernel Flow right here. Kernel Flow. How long have we been going, guys? 2 hours? How have we been going 2 hours? Tanya says, Jen, it is a living hell. When you say good, they make out you say bad things. I've never had the forced speech where it's like that. I mean, they record what my inner voice is doing. Um, I don't even know if they've tried that. They mess with my brain and conditioning and my feelings and everything. And then I think when I get on videos and stuff like that, there's stuff that I don't want to talk about that I'll be like, I don't want to talk about that stuff. I'm going to stick to this. But then those things that I didn't want to talk about will like come to mind when I'm like talking to other people. And so they do things in that sort of way. And then I'm in a situation where, I'm talking, so I just say those things, but I don't consider it like forced speech really, because it's not for. I've seen some target individuals where it's like literally they're forcing the throat muscles and the motor cortex to say words. They're yeah they're not. I'm glad they're not doing that. They do really bad stuff to me too. They do the worst stuff to me too. So like Tanya says, Kyle is so bad. I don't wish it on anyone. Yeah. Okay, let's show this. Let's put that there. Say, okay, New Type says, controlling the brain with holograms. New technology allows neuroscientists to modify neural activity with unprecedented spatial and temporal precision. Okay. And a hologram is just what? It's just light. It's like doing things with light, right? Holograms. I got to look into that. Thank you for putting that in chat, New Type. Yeah, Tanya says I'm living a nightmare. Yeah. I think we all are. I don't know, when you start really fighting it, you start really fighting. We got big stuff going on, guys. Like we got huge stuff for the State Department. The CIA and the Pentagon have declared an investigation on remote microwave attacks, which they're going to try and cover up. But the UN is also doing an investigation. I mean, you say these things to people around you. This is an issue. It's a global issue. It's no longer like people don't believe us, right? I talked to my mom and I'm like, yeah, the UN's getting on this. They just can't get countries to cooperate. Those are serious topics. Those are serious words. Semantically, those words make sense. They're not like, oh, no. Aliens hit me with a space ray. No. It's like the UN is looking into cyber torture. They're using to torture people all over the world, military-industrial complex. Military-industrial complexes, I question why they're even doing an investigation unless they know this stuff is coming out. Because we know they don't have to say anything about it. I think, and like I said earlier, I think the investigation has to do with internal strife. Internal people in the DOJ and the State Department and the FBI that are good, think that they're doing good, knowing about citizens being microwaved, and there's parallel construction where these citizens are innocent and they're trying to just compile fake evidence on them. I think those people, there's some rumblings from, so they're like, we're gonna have to bring this out. Maybe in other countries too, So I mean, you gotta get out of that nightmare. Dude, and I'm not saying what you said is right. We do live in a nightmare, but we gotta see this. We're in a war, guys, and we have to fight. And we're gonna have joy in our life. We're gonna have God in our life. We're gonna have each other in our life. Good people everywhere, right? I'm sorry, I got crud, and I only ate like half of a little muffin. I don't want to get up, but we are in a pretty good position right now with people knowing this stuff. It's way better than years ago. Buy time. Buy some time, get some defenses, I think I saw a lot of people talking about their forced speech on here, Tanya. We'll have somebody come on and talk about it. We'll try and get people who are going through stuff that's different than me to come on and talk about it, Like I don't get a lot of the like with gang stalking, I don't get a lot of street theater where they're talking about my life. I used to, but now I think I have. Well, I don't in my gang stalk. I don't get like people like talking about me. There's this one guy in the place. Well, I don't want to get off on that. We'll do it on a lot. We'll have on the hangout. We'll talk about a lot of stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about. Mostly I'll let you guys talk. Like if I have somebody on here or a panel, I'm gonna be pretty quiet because I blab all the time. So like when Jeff was on, I was just trying to like let him talk. But like if y'all need, like if you kind of lose track of what you're talking, I can ask you a question or just remind you or interject every once in a while. But I really want that stuff to be for you guys. Um, M. Tanner Cranmer says they have made my eyes roll up into my head when I was forced into the mental health hospital. He had like forced eye movement. So you know what I think? The people who get a lot of they get forced speech, eye movements, and things like that. Your attackers are probably in their protocol. Your motor cortex is very integral in what they're trying to manipulate, right? It doesn't seem like my motor cortex is something that my attackers are focusing on. It seems like it's my speech center, my visual cortex, and wherever emotions come from. They really try and mess with emotions, perspectives, how we see ourselves, right? There's parts of the brain that encompass how you see yourself as a person, and they really, really mess with that one. Because if if you're a capable person and you're can do anything, right? So they want to mess with that about, I won't get into that because I'm getting through it, I'm breaking through it, but it's pretty complex, the areas of my brain which they're interfering with. And I think for some of you guys, they focus on the motor cortex and y'all's targeting. Okay, let's watch this little presentation for Flux, and I already forgot it. It'll show me when I go to the video. Flux and flow. Flux and flow. Flux and flow. Do a little. Y'all know who Andy Rooney is? Why do they call it Kernel Flux? No, when I was a kid, we didn't have any fluxes or go to the convenience store and hang out. What's with all these computers? I used to just write my little notebook. I was a little stenographer, go look for nickels in the street. One time I got hit by a car, but that shiny nickel was worth it. Now kids are always on them computers. What's up with that? That's my Andy Rooney impression. Tanya, you gotta fight. You gotta fight, babe. You gotta fight. You have to fight. We can't wait. You can't wait on anybody in this. Like we're trying to get help. We're trying to push some boulders and stuff, but man, you gotta take. This can be just like if you don't know like a lot about the defenses and stuff like that, just do the basic stuff. And you're doing Dave KCD grounding. For you guys that are just getting heated up, and you got to do a lot of grounding. Because it's gonna, whatever they're hitting you with, it's gonna flow out into that ground. The positive, too many positive ions builds up. We need negative ions, right? So you ground, all those positive ions go out in the ground. And this has been fine. It hasn't backfired on me like putting it in the wall. Yeah, it's true. When I go out, my body is a jail. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's so bad. Jules says, Vulcan Wolverine, do you have a Twitter or Facebook? Yes. My Twitter is just Vulcan Wolverine, I think with a space. Is it Kyle T? My Facebook is Kyle TI, and my Twitter account is Vulcan Wolverine. Or is it Kyle TI too? Is my Twitter account Kyle TI? I'll check that. I think it's Vulcan Wolverine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Vulcan Wolverine. And then my Facebook is Kyle space T uppercase T uppercase I. Hey, Stay Marin says, Kyle, did you know a class action lawsuit is being organized in Europe? Is it the EU coalition that's doing it? That's great. That's really great. So can only people in Europe join? I gotta look into that. That's great. I still think though it's like at this point in time, without it revealed to the public, can they give settlements in class action suits? Because the deal right now is national security in every country is going to stop any kind of public ruling by the courts. Because if the court rules in a class action suit, say in Europe, the judge gives a ruling and sets precedent that that targeted individuals won that court, then it would set a precedent legally for every other targeted individual in the world to win their court cases, right? So these agencies step in and they're like, no, this is national security. I don't know, maybe they can get a settlement in that class action suit, but I think before any of that, and I'm glad they're doing it. They need to be doing it. We got to be pushing every way, and it just has to happen. The class action suits have to happen no matter what the timing is. But I do believe that more awareness is going to have to come out. These big things that are happening are going to have to come out before those will succeed. We've got to tear down that word national security, and I think the only people that can do that is the public, awareness in the public, and then these people, the people that are doing it themselves, vilifying the action, right? They're going to say, oh, this is happening, oh, this is so bad, right? The people that are doing it, the Pentagon, the CIA, the DIA, DARPA, and everything, they're going to be like, oh my God, this happened, somebody's doing this, we got to catch them, right? And then it's like that word national security will be torn off when they themselves vilify the action, and then you might be able to get some real reparations for us and real Supreme Court rulings and things like that. I don't know. This is uncharted territory because it's not just some company that's putting asbestos out and hurting people. It's not just some chemical that's being sprayed by some company, right? This is like military industrial complex contractors organized in every country with globalist ties. So they're the people with the most power. So it's a very can still be done, but I don't know. I hope it does some. In those things, like they're doing a class action suit in Europe. Like even if they don't win, it drums up a lot of talk about this, a lot of awareness about it. So even if it doesn't win, it's good. I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope maybe I'm wrong in that word national security. Oh, it's Icator? Icator still is back? Icator's back? Oh, Icator! Icator with the yeah, oh gosh, yeah, Icator. I know Icator. That's great. I hope they get I hope they win it. I hope they win it, man. Did they find a lawyer? Have they found a lawyer yet? Because that's the biggest thing. Like if you tell me about a class, like this organization is going to do class action, if they don't have a lawyer, I'm not too excited. When they say we've got a lawyer and he's going to do this, then I'll get excited. Then I'll be like, oh my God, because so many people have said we're going to do class action suit, right? But they can't find a lawyer that will take on this case. So that's a problem. But if there's a group that's like doing a class action suit and they've got a lawyer, more than just a golf clap, this is a real clap. And more than that, we'll drink champagne or whatever. We'll drink champagne or like eat pink marshmallows and funnel smoothies the back way. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jerusha. Drew says hello. Also glad you're live, Kyle. I'm glad you're here, Jerusha. Really? Stay Marin? This is great news. Stay Marin says yes, a law firm. They've got a law firm. That's great. So Icator has a law firm that's helping them do a class action suit about this. That's wow. This is great news. You see all this stuff happening, guys? It's just going to cascade. So I know there's programming, there's remote neural manipulation that's like trying to make people feel like real bad and real depressed and like the torture's so bad. But get your millionth win going right now. We got a lot of stuff going, but we're gonna need to push it out. We need to take this geyser of stuff that's just everywhere about neurotech and court cases, and we need to focus it like our laser beam, our organic laser beam, focus it and send it out to the public, right? We all need to be doing that. There's so much mainstream stuff on transhumanism, mainstream stuff on neurotech, James G. Adorno, so much mainstream stuff on the State Department and the CIA and the Pentagon doing this, looking into the Cuban embassy attacks and all the remote microwave attacks. So much mainstream stuff about the UN, right? Like at this point, you don't have to get on a video and go, I'm a targeted individual and this is the stuff I go through, right? You don't have to. If you want to, that's a good thing. But you could do a channel that's completely like people don't even know you're a targeted individual. And you're going through neurotech stuff, you're going through James G. Adorno saying, and you don't even have to individual targeting. This is a great time to let the information flow out. Okay, New Type says, I think they found a lawyer and are currently raising funds. Okay. Yeah. How much is that lawyer going to cost? Does he know what he's getting into? Because, I mean, look, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm glad that's happened. It has to happen. Like, Icator has to move forward with what they think is gonna drum up some publicity for targeting, right? That this is happening, but it's like the number one the number one police in the world for torture worldwide, Niels Melzer, his job is to stop torture in every country. He won't even mention this yet, and he looks like his whole family. Like, I'm not saying his family died. Like, he looks so stressed out, and he has to take this on very, very carefully. And he's like the guy who can declare, "Hey, that torture going on over there, your country's going to be penalized, and you need to stop doing that." Right? He's like the number one guy. What a battle, guys! A battle it is, though. A battle it is, and we rest when we have to rest, and we're so targeted, and we can just play video. This is just me talking about. When we can just play video games and watch YouTube, and just sit there. That's what we got to do. It's actually me thinking of solutions. Playing video games helps, and then when we can fight, we fight. And then when we can rest, we rest. We can love, we love. We do those things, and when we pray all the time. Okay, Say Martin says they have raised the initial retainer fee, I think. Is there anything that the lawyers that they've said, like Icator has said, like the lawyers have told them this or that, or that, yeah, they could probably get this through? You guys with forced speech. They really focus on the motor core. Yeah, we need somebody to come on and talk about that because I don't get that much. They did it like a couple of times. They would I'd be half asleep and and hit myself. Like they did that once, and then they did something where it was movements in my body. One time they made my arms move. I think they made my leg move, but like twitch. And I think maybe I'm not my motor cortex is just not good for that, which maybe I'm just like mush. I'm like a mush person, and my my muscles are mush. Actually, I got pretty good muscles. Oh, it's really bad. I gotta work. I'm gonna work out. I'm embarrassed by my muscles. Like an old man. I'm gonna check that out. So people check that out. Icator is getting a law firm. And I hope a lot. Okay, so it's a Belgian law firm. That's great. That's great. There's just so much stuff, man. This is mainstream. Go Spartans, go. When Spartans fall down, they get right back up. When Spartans fall down, they get right back up. When Spartans fall down, they get right back up. Tanya says, M. Tanner, yes, we know, but other people don't understand what it is. Hell. Kyle, living hell. Yeah, they can't understand how bad it is. Like, people can't understand how horrifying it is. But what I feel, this is what I've experienced, okay? if you can tone down the remote neural manipulation, like if they're sending really strong signals to your brain, you can feel like you're in hell and dying every day, incapacitated, because control of the brain, they control pain and everything else. So you've really got to focus on the strongest point in the vestibular system, I think, is the inner ear that they're using. Just focus on that, to get some of that pain off, and grounding. I do, Dave KCD, noise canceling hearing aids, some stuff, some passive headgear, maybe this, some cheaper stuff too. Nadia had found a better lead helmet that I think I'm gonna get, because my lead helmet, like it goes here, it like covers up the teeth, which is kind of good, but you just have your nose to breathe. She found one that kind of just straps on the chin right here, and it's like perfect, and so your whole face is like revealed. I think I might get that one. Maybe use both. There's some stuff that works, man. You just gotta this is your life. Remember, your life is precious, right? And you pray, and you're a spiritual being, and you pray to the most powerful God, the God of the universe, the God of the universes, right? In the name of Jesus Christ, you look for stuff. And I forgot my point about that, but just like pray to God about it, and then take action. You can do it. Think of it not as think of it as this. And this is hard. When you get really tired and tortured, this is really hard, but you got to be solutions oriented. You've always got to be like, well, I'm feeling really horrible. I can't really do anything about defenses right now, but having a cold drink would make me feel kind of good. Or taking 2 kratom or something, or get creative with your defenses, because chemical shielding, there's chemical shielding, passive shielding, electronic shielding, frequency shielding, grounding, right? I guess grounding would maybe be electronic shielding, but there's so much stuff, right? Speaking of kratom, I'm going to take 3. And see, what I do with kratom, like I usually take 4. I usually take like 4, maybe twice a day, 3 times a day. But I'm like, I'll take 3. I'll take 3 and compromise, and that's going to get. And so it's kind of like taper down a little bit, and then taper up. I'm gonna drink another cold drink, actually. Hey, John Stevenson Jr. says, rock on with your kratom. Rock on with your kratom. And guys, what's been really helping me? I don't know if you're really, like, if you're severely targeted, it might not help. Like if your just body's burning and you can't really pay attention to anything. But the ASMR, that does work. Now, I get like ASMR when they do it to each side of the ear, I'll get a little bit of tingles. But whenever they do this to the mic, where it's like you can hear and feel sounds in the back of your head, right? And I'm not talking about my attackers, I'm talking about these ASMR videos. Now when they do the stuff that's on the back of the head, it tingles all the way down my spine. So ASMR is like true, but this was the deal with me listening to ASMR. I didn't experience it at first. I listened to ASMR for like a couple of weeks or whatever. It's like you develop it. It's like you develop the tinglies with ASMR. So that kind of helps me a little bit. I just put so many things together, and that seems to work against my attackers the best. Because you use one thing, they'll adapt to that. But you use like 5 things, and then they don't even know what's helping you the most, and they have a hard time adapting, right? That's the theory on that, Tanya, yeah, if you have a portable CD player, I'd go ahead and do that. I'd go ahead and listen to it everywhere. And just listen to it like for a month, listen to it as much as you can, and then kind of reevaluate what you're still feeling. Like what's still kind of heavy from the targeting. And if your external hits are still heavy, it should help the forced speech, because with the forced speech, it's remote neural manipulation, a signal to the motor cortex, but they're using that inner voice thing too, and they're putting their inner voice in your head, and then it's forced speech, forcing the muscles of your throat and your jaw. So that's your motor cortex, your inner voice. It should. Dave Case's CD should tone down the forced speech, because they do it by remote neural manipulation. They do it by the biorelevant feedback loop, and they specifically target the where's the motor cortex? I don't know where the motor cortex is, but that's what they're targeting. Okay, I'll email you. I'll email you back, and we'll do that. We'll get people on here. People really like that. It was a very popular video. I'd love to do that all the time. I'd love to have interviews all the time. It's really a good way to grow the channel. Panels aren't so much a good way to grow the channel. And when I say grow the channel, I'm thinking about us, all of us. If we can grow this channel and do some things that non-TIs would want to see, then we can push our little corner a little bit faster. But it's kind of like I have to do videos on the fly sometimes, just when I feel good. So it's hard to get everything together and do all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. We're gonna just do everything. I mean, I'll do short videos sometimes when I'm not feeling like I can do a live stream. Then we'll do some live streams when I'm feeling good. We'll do some interviews whenever we can, and we'll kind of just sparse it. We'll kind of just, but I think what I want to eventually do, because the targeting is really bad, and I'm very tired. The biggest problem, the remote neural manipulation is very strenuous. It's very, very strenuous, and it's been so many years. And so I would feel kind of comfortable at this point. I want some other people to kind of step with this big information that we have, and then I could go to making still doing live streams, still doing stuff. But man, we went off on a tangent, huh? And I was supposed to get to this. I'll come back to that. We'll talk about
supercut of all the main highlights of Kernel's live stream events. If you don't know, Kernel.
Can y'all hear this? I forgot. I'm gonna have to make sure that I'm sharing audio. God, my memory. I have memories of my memory when it used to be good. Tests, yes. You can lose your taste and smell, and it might not be COVID. My attackers really mess with my sense of taste and my sense of smell a lot. And that would be remote neural manipulation to your, what's that? What's your smell called? Your olfactory region. And that your olfactory region controls taste and smell. It's weird because I never really think of this stuff a lot, because my attackers, I can't think a lot because I got the V2K, and then I'm talking on it on a video, and I think my attackers are surprised because I have to not think a lot because they're there, but then I'm communicating with y'all, and it's I still have knowledge, God's working through me and stuff and they're surprised that I know how this stuff works. I don't get them. I don't get these murderers. I don't get them. John Stevenson says, man, I hope they let me go soon. Yeah, we can't count on that, man. They're not going to let you go. We can stop things. We can end it. I mean, maybe it'll just end and they will let you go, but individually, they're not just going to be yeah, okay, we're done with them. They're not. It's their job. And I think it's even more, for them, it's not like a job they can just be oh, I want to go get another job or something like that. It's when they're doing that, it's so top secret that it's they can't leave. It's the mob, Oh, 1333. Look at that. Free brain-computer interfaces.
Hey, it's Han from RiseSci HX, and today I'm bringing you a supercut of all the main highlights of Kernel's live stream events. If you don't know, Kernel is a company founded in 2016 looking to create non-invasive brain-computer interfaces. They recently raised $53 million in funding in July, in addition to the $54 million personally invested by founder and CEO Brian Johnson. They're developing two BCI devices, Kernel Flux, which uses sensors to detect alterations in the magnetic field.
Right, and so like just to reiterate, with us, they would be doing something like that with electromagnetic fields and then the bidirectional stream, right? So I mean, I feel heat around my head a lot sometimes, especially though, like when I have a lot of stuff in my ears, they'll burn this. This will feel real hot around the ears, and then they'll even with, I think with an external hit, or maybe just that electromagnetic field is affecting certain nerves on the side of the head, and it's like they're stabbing a hot knife, and it's mostly on this side, the left side. You gotta move, man. What's not real? Dude, as long as we move forward, we don't lose. We gotta keep momentum. I'm stagnant. I mean, I do some things pretty good, but then it's like I'm kind of stagnant in other areas. Things have fallen by the wayside. I don't clean my place as well as I want to. I'm not taking care of like my, all my paperwork and all that stuff, and for my car. Doing some things, but things fall to the wayside. It's just like you just got to do what you can do. Maybe pick one thing a day, to fix. And if and it might not even be like things like in the world. It might be you're targeting so bad, and it's like that's the priority. Pick like one thing you can do that day, like to maybe order something, or maybe look at some defensive solutions, or if you haven't ordered Dave Case CD, get that definitely. Noise canceling hearing aids are like so good. I know it's like $180. I'd tell any target individual you're getting ringing in your ears, you have remote neural manipulation, get those noise canceling hearing aids. Get that money. It's worth it. They're worth $5,000. They're worth $10,000. They're worth a lot of money, and it doesn't stop it, but it at least gives. It's like, because when I forgot to put mine on the other morning, like I didn't have anything on. I think I had my headgear on, and my polarized sunglasses. I forgot to put on my noise canceling hearing aids, and I started feeling just so hot, like in my midsection. The ringing in my ears didn't get really bad, but I got a real bad headache, and I felt like my spine was kind of shaking. So it's like I was sitting there for hours without my noise canceling hearing aids, and they just kind of stepped back in. They stepped back in with a lot, they were trying to build up what they had done. What? That light just went out? No way. No, I just got that thing. Dude, I just got this. What? Say what again? Say what again? Oh, it was coming unplugged. I thought my attackers had hit it. Say what again? What? Say what again? Is that good? Let's go. Go. There we go. Say what again? Gotta watch that movie again. Okay, so let's continue to watch it. I just wanted to interject.
Created by Neural Activity and Kernel Flow, which uses near-infrared light to measure blood flow in the brain. Kernel Flow is...
And I would guarantee you, using photonics, near-infrared light, and other types of invisible light, that our attackers are controlling blood flow in our brain. And that's why we get such migraines, right? Because they're doing something where it's like they're shifting the blood flow in our brain where it's like, that hurts. So they're using photon. Yeah, I'm right. The lady was like, he's right, Probably a psyop. But that's definitely true, That's I think what's happening, I'll go ahead and just say it in front of y'all and my attackers are listening. Like, my thinking is like, I don't think, like, I'm not thinking consciously. I'm thinking about things that I'm doing and stuff with my attackers, but it's uneasy. It's like you're around a group of people that hate you, and your thinking becomes like talking to those people. It's hard to explain. But I think what's happening, other than just God kind of intervening, is I'm having a lot of subconscious. I'm figuring things out subconscious. It's like my brain knows that it's being watched. I'm thinking in another way. Because when I get up here, like a lot of this stuff, I don't like. It's so weird. It's like an adaptation of my brain where I'm like thinking in another place where they can't see it. I really think that's happening, and you just need God for that. You just need to pray to God for these new things, because we're adapting to really weird stuff. Everyone's adapting to biometrics and new man-made viruses, and so man-made viruses, no quotation marks. Everybody's adapting that stuff. Yeah, Tanya says James Lyko YouTube. Love James. If I do early live streams, he seems to be able to get to those. I think he's up in the time. I love having James come to my live streams. He helped me out a lot. Like when we were on those calls.
The main topic of this live stream, and you'll learn about how the technology.
So let's watch this whole. Seems like it's like a compilation of a live stream they did about the kernel flow, and maybe a little bit about the kernel flux. Let's just stop my attackers from doing that. Can we just get that going there with a little.
She works, how you might use it in everyday, and how you might be able to get a free device. So, if you like this sort of content and want to keep up with all the latest in science and technology.
Is this YouTube channel giving out free devices, or is Kernel giving out free brain reading devices? That's kind of
Please drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
A little bit suspicious.
It helps a lot. Thanks.
What's the best way to measure brain activity from outside the skull? No surgery required. You could measure the activity of the neurons themselves, but it's hard to get just the ones we're interested in. Instead, we can take advantage of the fact that the brain has many blood vessels that supply oxygen to the neurons, and then when neurons use oxygen, the color of the blood shifts away from reddish and toward blue. Kernel flow shines light at the blood in the brain. The light bounces around.
Dude, they're using this type of stuff to get signals from the brain. James Giordano talks about it, and it's not like our attackers are some kind of blood flow to the brain geniuses. The integrated systems just work with this kind of information from our brain and our blood flow and everything. They definitely do. Most definitely.
Around in all directions, and by chance, some light will bounce back through the skull, skin, and back out of the head. We then use the amount of light we can detect and how it changes over time to calculate how active a nearby brain region is. Using color to tell something about the content of what you're measuring is called spectroscopy. How do we know which scattered light waves originated from which part of the brain? Kernel flow is a time domain, or TD system. TD systems use very short pulses of light with precise timing in order to measure and compare the time each photon takes to arrive at a detector placed across the head.
Now let me just say something common sense wise to maybe non-target individuals. If you got some startup company that's talking about this, monitoring the brain with light refraction technology, what do you think the military industrial complex is doing? You know what I'm saying? I know targeted individuals know it, but if you're non-TI, this is a startup company. This is a startup company.
Then use Monte Carlo models, the kind that power particle simulators in the best modern AIs, to analyze the shape.
Yeah, I was asking y'all if y'all could hear it because I forget to turn on the sound sometimes. Yeah, Tanya says Project Soulcatcher, Robert Duncan, buy the book online. It's maybe the best book, and I've not read it, but like I've watched videos where people read, and I've read excerpts, and it probably has the best information on remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring. I've got to get that. I put that off. I put things off, and then they just fall by the wayside. Oh, I need to do that, and then it's just like 2 years pass, and I'm on it because I just forgot it. Ah, yeah. Y'all could hear. I did remember to turn it on. Yeah, and Tanya says, look out for Charlie for great information. And look out for Charlie has a posting board. I don't think that's what you call it, but I can't think of the word. But like he just has a board where you can post. I have that. I don't. I signed up for it. You got to sign up for it. I'll just do a short video just promoting that because I think it's a great idea.
And spread of the arrival times at the detectors, all of which gives us clues to the path the light has taken. Here we show the path of the photons in black as they travel from the red source location to the blue detector. As time goes on, the photons travel deeper into the head. The increased timing information we get from kernel flow relative to other optical systems allows us to better isolate the signal coming from the brain as compared to the signal from the scalp and the skull. For example, here we are showing where brain activity for a motor task is reconstructed using traditional FNIRS methods. If we compare this to the activation pattern when we use TT FNIRS information, we see more localized motor activity around the head. We can make a dynamic map of brain activity over parts of the brain closest to the skull, which is where much of language, vision, movement, and higher order cognition is processed or planned.
Isn't that interesting? So the brain areas closer to the skull, they can manipulate those things, get readouts on those things. And you heard all, let's hear them again. And what's messed with in targeted individuals. Ooh, 322.
Activity over parts of the brain closest to the skull, which is where much of language, vision, movement, and higher order cognition is processed or planned. Combined with mathematical models of anatomy and how light propagates, we can reconstruct where in the brain changes in blood oxygenation and related brain activity are coming from. And in part because photons, on average, travel through the skull and back out in an arc or banana path, the more detectors we have, the better the spatial resolution, and the better the map. Here we are showing some simulated brain activity in green. As we add more detectors, we can see that our estimation of where the brain activity is coming from gets closer to the correct location. These advancements allow for precise localization of brain activity.
What's up?
Kernel Flow is the beginning of a new era of neuroscience.
How it might be. I want to see that. Okay, that's Brian Johnson right there. This is the CEO of Kernel. So he's see where all this is headed? See where all this is headed? So you need to know about your texts in your brain. Zombie mode. Oh, did you see that? Okay, so he's watching TV, and when his brain got to a state of like of not being active, then it said, hey, your brain's getting to this level, you need to go read a book. Oh my God! Wow. Hey TI Strategy Guy, man, how you doing, brother? And if I didn't say hey to somebody, I'm sorry. Potassium iodide. I haven't been taking my potassium iodide. Yeah, get the molds and fungus out. Okay, so this device, it's like future things that it can do. You can be watching TV, and when you get into a certain brain, So it's monitoring your brain state. Your brain data, did y'all see that? This isn't what it can do now, but look. Your brain data shows a thriller would be a good entertainment choice this evening. So like it's going to read your brain and the AI is going to say, "Oh my god." Like the future of what they're trying to do with this is like a positive version of what the negative version of what our attackers do to us, right? What the automated systems do. Yeah, the music is really bad. Yeah, I need to put that up on the screen. You know, it's like this is like a horror show for me. It's like a horror movie for me. Like this guy like making a consumer product off all the dead bodies that this program, like this experimentation on the brain, has caused, and it's like, oh, this is going to be convenient transhumanism. This is cool, man. And it's like this elevator music that goes along with it. But so many people are being tortured 24 hours a day. This come out into consumer markets and the medical market. I'm gonna research this guy, and I'm gonna find it. I have his Wikipedia up. We're gonna read that in a second. It's getting to be like 7 o'clock. I can go a little bit longer. Yeah, we can go.
Start off by showing you.
These are
kernel flow.
These right here. I just want to say I stopped vaping. These don't have vape in them, and I just have to just act like I'm vaping sometimes. I really want to vape. It's so hard to quit when you're smoking nicotine. Oh, it's so hard. I've got a headache. I feel a little bit more energetic though. I'm getting more oxygen, blood flow, less propylene glycol in my system, which means my muscles don't hurt as much.
Have it upside down so you can kind of get a feel for all the modules and channels that come together to build this. So there are 52 individual modules here. Each module has a single laser in the center and 6 detectors around the outside. So what that means is on a full head, we have 52 lasers and 312 detectors. And as you can see, we kind of have the module snap in to the helmet very nicely. The other thing about the device, again, is we've kind of structured it so there are groups of...
So they're magnometers just reading brain. It's like picking up the
modules. So you can kind of see from the side here that we have a cluster of 7 that would cover part of the auditory cortex where your brain processes sound. And then we have some grouped together in the front here for the prefrontal cortex.
You know, guys, studying these things, like this is going to help us to get evidence, right? We need to study about how this works and how they're getting signals from each region of the brain, because about what our attackers are doing, right? So as this stuff comes out, it's trickled out. This could teach us a lot. This could teach us a lot specifically about what they're doing. So Jeff says, everyone be careful with Kratom. Tolerance sets in quick, and the withdrawals are zero fun, to say the least. Yeah. I don't know, Kratom, it's worked for me for a long time. You just got to taper off. You can't just get off of it cold turkey. I don't know, man. Dark Winter. Hey, Dark Winter. Dark Winter says, I hate that I smoke. I should have quit a long time ago, but I feel like more ingredients were added to it to make it hard. Yeah, like a bunch of chemicals and stuff. It not just the nicotine that you're getting addicted to. Mm-hmm.
And then we have motor and the visual cortex in the back. So we kind of tried to design the headgear both in a way that sort of covers all the key areas and is flexible enough so that people with different size heads could still use the same device. I've got a single module. It's connected to one of the microcontrollers that aggregates data, plugged into a single USB cable. So we're going to get both power and data over the USB cable. Is the histogram view, and what I'm showing are the histograms from all 6 channels of a single module. And then on the right here, you can see total counts versus time. So I'm going to try and do as a demo for you where you can see both the histograms and a good pulse signal from the total counts channel at the same time. So I have it face down on the desk right now. If I compress it, you can see that the noise goes down actually. So then if I put it on my hand, you can see histograms on the left side and the total counts start changing on the right side. And then what I'm going to try and do is use both my hands and get a good heartbeat signal off of my forehead here.
And that's CW. That's total counts.
That's total counts. That's CW equivalent.
Total count. What? Sample rate. What is the update rate?
So that's why I wanted you to see the heart rate. So we're updating at 200 hertz, which is pretty impressive. So for broader context, most time domain systems today that are equivalent to this usually collect at about 1 hertz. That's 1 sample per second. We're running 200 times faster than that, which lets us pick up a lot more of the...
What were you just showing, on your forehead there, about how many...
Neurophotonics. Look at this guy. This guy works at some kind of neurophotonics center. I didn't know there were neurophotonics. And what would happen if we go and tell some guy, a doctor that works at a neurophotonics center, that we're being hit remotely with like invisible light, microwaves and the such? He would know that there's capabilities of doing that, right? I don't know. He looks like a retard. I'm sorry, Mr. Man. I don't even know you.
Perception.
Yeah, so this is, I took it off. This is about 4 million counts per
histogram. Oh yeah.
So,
DePlume has a channel, TIVille. TIVILLE. Just no spaces in that. And she's done, I think 2 live streams. So everybody check out that channel. Give her support. She's doing live streams and talking about her targeting and stuff like that. So please show her support. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me, somebody. I watched part of her live stream this morning, but I'm just my head. I got so much stuff in it.
That's about 800 million counts per second, almost a billion counts per second.
What is the heartbeat? I don't understand this part.
Yeah.
That guy seemed like a
The Kernel Flow 50 is a pioneering group who will receive early and preferred access to the first 50 systems. The objective of these 50 systems is to showcase the biggest market and scientific potential of flow, with the intention that everyone will see that it will immediately become apparent of the value of what we've built and why people would want these devices in their homes.
So our flow system is really designed for ease of use. Our aim is to provide our partners with a system that they can take out of the box and get their first result based on our reference tasks within 4 hours. The systems we're offering as part of this Flow 50 are our production prototypes. These are devices that will be representative of the form, performance, and function of our final production systems.
These production systems so bad.
We're finalizing now.
Looks like Brian Johnson is
for sale in the fall of 2021. So as part of this program, I'll go through what all we're including. First, obviously, is a flow system. You get up to 52 optical modules, which is 1,000 channels for those that know FNIRs. And you get up
this isn't true probably, but it'd just be funny. Like this guy on the right is an android that Brian Johnson created, and Brian Johnson has this little pad, and like he's trying to control the android because the android's sweating and not getting things right, and he just keeps using his pad trying to control the little android. I'm sorry. I gotta I gotta stop this live stream soon. I'm getting
integrated
wonky.
EEG active electrodes. And then we're going to give you the same great things that we use internally when we run our studies. So we're going to give you a robust process.
He's like looking at him very
so
disappointedly.
They're the same. We're going to give you secure data storage.
He's looking at the options of how to control it.
Privacy and security
Android.
first, because it matters a lot to us. For easy and safe monitoring of participant progress through your studies. How are we pricing these systems? What's our system cost? We get this question a lot. So for Float 50, we're doing something special. For every organization or team that would like a flow device, you need to submit an application. We want to be surprised by the amazing things that you will all do with a kernel flow device.
Weird. So they're not just going to sell it.
Appeal,
You've got to apply to get
10 full head coverage systems.
Now, but this is okay.
modules.
This is just the beginning, and this is with the flow device. I think the Kernel Flux. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm sure there's going to be a time when you can just buy it, where you don't even have to apply or anything like that. And that's probably going to be. When did this video come out? This video came out October 22nd, 2020, and it's 2021. Should be coming out soon. Third quarter, the third quarter, so it's probably summer or after summer, you know, either like June or like September. I'm not sure what
free of
quarter
charge
three
to the
that
applications that demonstrate the most scientific and market potential, and maybe both. All the applicants that are not selected for the 10 free systems will have the option to purchase a system starting at $5,000 for the base configuration.
What?
We'll prioritize partners, since we only have 50 systems that we can work with, based on the quality of their applications. After this event, the application will be available on our website.
That's not that. Okay. Dude, that's the flow. We're not sure how much the Kernel Flux is. Dude, if we're talking about thousands of dollars, then we're gonna have to buy one. We're gonna have to have like groups of people buying them and like meeting somewhere to use them and get that and collate that data. Because if it's like it's like $5,000, we each can't buy one. Oh wow. Hey John, hey don't spam like you're just like putting in one, you know, be real careful about that so other people can talk. Cool man. Yeah, Tanya, her channel where she's doing live streams about targeting is Tiville, Tiville. Dowsing. Do anyone like dowsing? There's a lot of, like, dowsing means a lot of things. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Alexis. I don't know.
And December 31st with rolling selection throughout those 2 months.
Can you be more specific on what you're looking for?
Take it?
Yeah. So we are, Kernel Flow is a device that achieves performance, accessibility, price that it's never been available in the market before. And with that is a bunch of new possibilities that we can map on previous things that have been done traditionally, but also we can imagine a whole new set of possibilities. And so we are looking specifically for people who understand the power of the system we've built. For example, you heard the number of photons we're collecting, the sample rate, the whole head coverage, etc. We think there's a new horizon to be explored here. And so there's two outcomes we really care about. One is demonstration of market potential, doing things where you could reasonably imagine wanting one in your home yourself. And number two is the scientific potential, which of course will spawn other
We've
people
got a
doing
great
more interesting
application.
things.
I mean, I don't know if people already applied for this, but I would literally put an application in and be like, there are people being hit by remote neural manipulation and things, and they need to record that for evidence. But he's probably tied in with the military. Okay, Alexa says, I douse with a pendulum. Douse with pendulum. I speak the truth. It's a form of ESP. I don't know what that means, Alexis. Maybe somebody in chat knows what that means. I don't know what douse means. With a pendulum. Douse? I'm not sure, man. Maybe somebody else in chat. But I want to read y'all a little bit. So
we're really looking for exceptional demonstrations of the technology.
So those were the main highlights. What did you think? Let me know.
I don't know. I hope that the Kernel Flux is way cheaper than the Kernel Flow, and I hope the consumer price goes down a lot, because that, like, $5,000 would not be good. It wouldn't be something that we could just buy, you know. Okay, yeah, Alexa, I'm not sure what douse means. What douse means? Is it are you in America? Is it something that's other countries do that I'm not getting? I don't know what that is. Okay, one more thing. Let me show you guys this. I just want to show you kind of, we need to find more information on Brian Johnson. So Johnson, born August 22nd, 1977, is an American entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and author. He is the founder and CEO of Kernel, a company that has developed devices that can monitor and record brain activity, and OS Fund, a venture capital firm that invests in early-stage science and technology companies. He was also founder, chairman, and CEO of Braintree, a company which specializes in mobile and web payment systems for e-commerce companies. Braintree acquired Venmo in 2012 for $26.2 million. The combined entity was acquired by eBay in 2013 for $800 million. So Venmo, so he sold it, he bought it for $26.2 million, he sold it for $800 million. Early life. Johnson was born in Provo, Utah, and raised in Springville, Utah, the middle child of 3 brothers and a sister. After his parents' divorce, Johnson lived with his mother and his stepfather, the owner of a trucking company. At 19, Johnson became a Mormon missionary, customary for young men in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, spending two years in Ecuador. Johnson graduated with a BA in International Studies from Brigham Young University in 2003 and an MBA from University of Chicago Booth School of Business in 2007. Kind of just wanted to show you all that he was in the Mormon Church, but nothing that looks extremely fishy or anything like that. It looks like he's just a very, very tech savvy entrepreneur, but I don't buy that. I think there's some kind of connection to the military industrial complex. Braintree. Johnson founded Braintree in 2007. The firm's rapid growth was spurred by clients in the technology industry, including OpenTable, Uber, Shopify, Airbnb, and others. The company was 47th on Incorporated Magazine's 2011 list of the 500 fastest growing companies, and 415th in 2012. That year, Braintree purchased Venmo, an app that allows users to send and receive money from each other electronically, for $26.2 million. Yeah, that's a good return on that. Buy something for $26.2 million and you sell it for $800 million. It kind of reinforces that saying you got to have money to make money. You know, it's really true. It's really, really true. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. There was another thing I just kind of wanted to read real quick. this is another kind of this is by Brian Johnson. So, announcing Kernel Flux, the world's most powerful neural interface. How much is this thing going to be? Is this going to be $5,000, or just the initial prototypes going to be $5,000? We are pleased to announce that the first Kernel Flux system will be delivered to the world and our first customer this summer. But first, so it's going to be this summer, Q3. The system architecture and performance of its dense array of optically pumped magnetometers, optically pumped magnetometer will debut at Photonics West in a technical presentation designed for OP-MEG experts. The TLDR for the rest of us. We did it. Flux is unrivaled in the quality, speed, and amount of neural activity it can record non-invasively in real time. No, it's completely overshadowed by integrated directed energy weapon systems. They can read neurons in real time and do everything else, and they can do it from very far away using an infrastructure. So they have overshadowed you, Flux. You have a device with sensors on it. They use the whole entire grid and satellites and and drones and over-the-horizon radar and microwave towers. Until now, every type of data one could acquire directly from the human brain came with severe limitations. To get the best hemodynamic or electrical data, for example, the person in their brain is perfectly still, typically by confinement in loud claustrophobic environments. And if the person was able to move around freely and naturally, the data quality quickly dropped until it was useless. I wonder where Kernel got their unique knowledge on how to monitor the brain while somebody's moving around, huh? Targeted individuals, because we move wherever we go. There's motion tracking, right? So motion tracking, all this stuff. DePlume says, what was the other BCI headset you were looking at, Kyle? Is so there's the Kernel Flux, which reads brain activity, and then Kernel Flow reads blood flow in and around the brain, right? So Kernel Flux is probably the one we want to focus on, but I think that Kernel Flow, I think they use, I mean, when they're doing the they're stimulating the vestibular system, I think it does mess with blood flow to our brain. Penn and Teller. I love Penn and Teller, man. They're great. Diplume says, but there was another one you saw. The video game one, like the VR headset. You talking about the where the guy's playing the video game and he puts it on the occipital lobe? Honey Ann says they are messing with my cell and Wi-Fi so bad. Yeah. They just mess with everything. It's just constant. They got to get something to bother you, and like something to just keep harassing and raping you and just raping you. They've got to find stuff like that. They've got to just continually find stuff. And like if you ever find a moment of relaxation where you can ignore them, it's like they're going to do something. They're going to mess up some electronics or make your dog sick or anything like that. It's just constantly, it's like they have no lives and they just got to rape because they're empty and soulless, and they've just got to hurt other people because they're awful, and they've just, their whole life has been bad choices and stuff like that, and it's just they're awful, man. Yeah, Tanya says these are crimes against humanity. Hey guys, I'm doing the I gotta do the moderator thing. I gotta do the moderator thing, guys. I'm going back to 0 with moderators. And we're gonna see how that works. Like, so don't feel like you're losing your moderator stuff because you did something bad. I've just been meaning to do that. Sorry, Jeff, brother. Like, I'm gonna put some moderators back over time. I'm gonna see who really wants to do it. You know, I'm gonna see who really wants to do it. Like, people can ask me. Just ask me if you can be a moderator, like, later on. We'll work that out. But I gotta do that. I just want to go back to 0 on all that. I trust all you guys, so it's not anything about that. It's just about kind of like me taking responsibility if anybody gets banned or anything like that. I can do that. I can just pay attention to chat sometimes. Like, you guys just let me know. I'll talk to some people. We'll remoderate. You know, whoever wants to. Maybe if things go really bad. I just want to see how that works. And yeah, might not work good. Everything might go to chaos, and I just have to remoderate you guys. But I love y'all. Okay. We're gonna see. I don't know. Okay, Jeff says we need to do another live stream. I have more info to share. Okay. Yeah, man. I'm gonna do a panel soon. I'm gonna do a panel because we hit 3,500 subscribers. Thank you guys. 3,500 subscribers after 6 or 7 years. We made it. We did it. 3,500. And it just took 6 years. If the most crucial information for humanity in this time, 3,500 subscribers. And there are some channels that have like 10 million subscribers, and they just do makeup, and they cut off their pee-pee to become a woman. I'm sorry about those jokes. If those offend anybody, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Like, that's it. I'm just saying. There's agendas in some channels that should not have millions of subscribers, have millions of subscribers. Just like the satanic shoe that guy Lil Nas X, you know, they sold out in an hour. You know, all the satanic shoes with the pentagram on them, they sold out in an hour. I would like to think that wasn't actual people buying those things. That some satanic corporation was like, hey, we want everybody to think that everybody's satanic, so we're just going to buy them all up, you know. Oh my God. They sold out in an hour. Like, all the shoes he put out. Hey, Robin, what's up, man? Are you the Robin Hood? Are you like the Robin Hood? Are you in Sherwood Forest? Frequent heightened for me in the past few months. Yeah, my gang stalking is kind of just the same vehicularly. Around my place, it's not as much. There's occasional stuff. My gang, I don't want to say that, man. There's specific people who gang stalk me really bad around here. And then there's the vehicular stalking is always there, but it's like the directed energy torture is the worst for me. There's a Robin Hood with a YouTube channel, and I think he's targeted. I don't think you're him though. I think you're another guy. Hey, a lot of Robin Hoods can't be bad, right? Love and humankind. That's right, John. That's right. John, do you have to, like, you always like type in like one word or something? Just be careful with that, like, because it spams the chat. Like, make sure it's something that you want to state, like, and you be funny and whatever, you know. But just don't. My bottom line, don't spam the chat. Like, you can do whatever you want to do, but just don't spam it the whole time, because you're spamming the chat. You know, just when you want to say something, maybe just put a comma and then put the other thing and then put a comma, because you're like putting one word, and then some of them don't make any sense. Like some of them do. Love and humankind makes sense. Hood 19% makes no sense. I'm just saying, you know. Nadia says congratulations. Who, Nadia? Congratulations to who? Oh, for the three. Thank you. Thanks, Nadia. Yeah, 3,500. I know you don't. We don't usually do a a celebration for 3,500 subscribers, but I felt like, you know, we'll celebrate. I don't know if I'm gonna drink or anything. We'll just hang out, and then you guys can talk. Yeah, no, it's not a problem, John. It's just you see, overclocked. I don't understand what that means. Nobody really understands what it means. You may understand what it means. And look, I'm not even getting on to you about that. Yeah, flesh and blood. It's like, I don't know. But I do know that it oh, $1,000 a pair? Oh my gosh. $1,000 a pair for those satanic shoes, and they sold out in an hour. I really hope that wasn't real people buying them. It's scary. The cult is growing. The cult is growing. Is that what you meant, Nadia? I'm not sure. I think I'm getting a little bit tired. So I'm not. I think you're talking about those shoes. Yeah. $1,000. Really? Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. But that's what you should say, John. You should write one, one comment saying they overclock your brain like a computer, bro, instead of just saying the word overclocked. Because, like, I don't know what you're talking about, you know. But the main thing, just don't spam the chat like you're doing still. You know. I'm not trying to get on you. I don't know. I don't, you know. Oh yeah. Alan says Nike is suing. Yeah, Nas. They're suing I think they're suing the company that sells them, that made them. That's incredibly gross. Like our society, it's just the cult. The cult is getting bigger, and they're programming children like to like sort of satanic stuff and music videos and stuff like that. So it's not even that we just have to worry about our generation surviving this. It's like the next generation's being really, really conditioned to satanic stuff. You know, I don't understand. Like he made a video, Lil Nas X, where it's like, yeah, he's kissing Satan, and then he has the lifestyle, but then he goes to hell. So it's like they know that they'll have a little period of like good stuff happen to him, and then it's hell. It's Satan's going to take their soul. Why would you pick that? Why not just like be a Christian, love God, and try and make good stuff happen in your life, and then your life's cool? Like fame and fortune are not that great. They're not good. I guess maybe just like having a family and a quiet life and enough money to take care of your family and not being bothered and being able to create, write, draw, paint, I don't know, make video games or something. That'd be fun. I don't see why fame is horrible. If I can tell you fame is horrible, not because I'm famous, but just because this little channel, people know me, right? And they, a lot of people, it's a lot, So, and just that little bit, could you imagine being Brad Pitt and like everybody in the world, wants a piece of you, Stay says, Kyle, at the very top of the pyramid, we're dealing with a satanic death sex cult. Think Aleister Crowley. Yeah. The very top are the worst. They're Jacobians, Zionist Jacobians. At the top, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and they do satanic rituals, and they're pedophilic, and all that kind of stuff. Even the Queen of England and stuff like that. Nani says over 1,000. Those shoes were over $1,000. How many pairs were there? Do you know how many pairs they made, Nadia? Gloria, hey Gloria says Lil Nas is probably mind controlled or a clone with handlers. Yeah, I don't know if they clone people. I don't really believe in that. I think that was just a story. The guy who came out with that was just a con man. I don't know about clones. Like, I guess maybe. I mean, not a lot of people know about directed energy weapons and mind control. So maybe on the clone side, I'm like, no way, they can't clone people, and they can. Who knows? You know, I'd definitely say mind control. I think anybody like Cardi B, Beyonce, what's Beyonce's husband? I don't listen to. I used to love him. Until I found out he was like complete Illuminati. He did a song Lucifer, the Star of the Morning or whatever. It like praising Lucifer. I should remember that. He's like a famous rapper. I can't even remember the name. It's not Dr. Dre, I know that. So, help me out with this, guys. I'm going to need to remember this rapper's name before I finish this. Jay-Z, thank you. Thank you, Jay-Z. Brooklyn ballin'. Brooklyn ballin', guys. Brooklyn ballin'. Yo, Jay-Z, I got a nice car and some homies, and I'm running around for you to see what's in the trees, what's going on, because I live in a part of town that it's wrong to go outside in the dome. I'll do better next time. I tell you what, man, I haven't tried to freestyle. That's bad. That was a joke, freestyle rap there. But my face is healing up. I can like talk a little bit better. This is great. No sound? Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Tanya says no sound. Y'all can't hear me? That may be on your end, Tanya. Yeah, so guys, I'm sorry if I took away anybody's moderator. Oh, Naughty, I gotta take away yours too. I may give them back some of you guys. I'm just trying it out. I don't want to do it, but it's like if I gotta take it. I can't just leave one person with it. I know that it's. Just know that it's not because y'all did anything wrong, and it's like I'm just gonna see. We're just gonna see. Is there no sound? Oh, the audio's fine. Okay. Is there a 666 on the shoe? Okay. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and end it on that. I love you guys. I'll be back probably this weekend. I'll be back. But I'm getting kind of tired right now. I love you guys. Yeah, Naughty, don't write that. No, what's 666 on the shoe, or what? Oh, you're just talking to somebody else. Oh. See, I was like talking. I forgot the question I even asked Nadia. They sold 666 pairs of shoes. 666 pairs of shoes. Wow. Thank you, Gloria says, thanks, Kyle. Love you too. Much love, my brother. Thank you, Gloria. Love you. I love you guys too. Thanks for coming, guys. Marcus says there are satanic rituals around R&M. I think that a lot of our attackers, they think of themselves as military doing this, but it's a way for the satanic top to create satanic rituals 24/7, right? With this technology. And some of them are really Masonic and satanic. Stay says Stanley Kubrick said at the very top, the world is run by pedophiles. Yep. And man, I've been watching these things on YouTube like CC Unit and Anxiety War. I actually subscribe to Anxiety War's Patreon. And he's this young kid who he pretends to be the young girl or boy and to lure in the predator, and then they meet somewhere and he gets their license plate, right? He gets the predator's I don't even know if I can say that word, the pred, he gets their license plate and then he turns them in, right? And then CC unit does it. CC unit's pretty good, and the guy just yells at him and stuff like that. And there are so many. There are so many of like these like 30 to 50 to 60-year-old men that like talk to, like, they think they're talking to like a 13-year-old on an app, and then they go out to meet them. Like, why do they exist? Why am I being targeted, and I'm like a regular guy, and like I want to get married and have a family, and they're just preds running around. They're not being targeted or anything. What's going on? It's like they want them in society. It's like this system wants to let them, just do whatever they want. And then it's like in Europe and a bunch of these places, they're going to try and make like doing it with a younger kid or something like legal, like sick. Like they're bringing in these satanic tenets like a little bit at a time. And that's just like one angle. But that's sick. Like, we're not protecting children. We're not protecting women. We're not protecting innocent citizens. We're protecting the scum. And then if you're a good person, whoa, hold on, they're doing something good, gotta kill them. Like with my attackers, it's just like, actually helping people and like looking into the big stuff and seeing how this could end and stuff, the program can, we really gotta wipe him out, because he's gonna help. All they want to do is destroy lives. But yeah. But the thing is, like the videos where they're catching the preds, it's a bunch of citizens who have done it, and they've created awareness, right? And they've scared the preds, right? So they've done it like the citizens had to do it. The citizens had to do it because law enforcement doesn't do it. And then this program that has all the technology to get every pred or ped or whatever, instead it hits people like me who are not, and just tells the community we are. It makes it up. So then the real preds are out there not getting caught. And it takes citizens to do it. This is a situation where it's not being fixed by the system. The system wants this. The system wants us to die. It wants us to be experimented on terminally. They've justified it. People get jobs coming in here and just acting and whatever. We become like, people can do anything to us. The system doesn't want to help us, so we have to do things like those citizens catching the preds do. We create a movement. We create awareness around it, and then it's like, and it starts to push back. But it has to be, these days it has to be like revolutionary citizens to get anything done. The system's so evil, and we can push the system to do the correct thing, but it's not just going to do it on its own. Okay, Tanya says, I would like Happy Easter, all beautiful targeted individuals around the world. Okay, I'll remember that, Tanya. For a while, we're just going to try this. We're just going to see how it goes. Hopefully, I won't have to deal with anything. I just want to see how it goes, because there was just some like off videos, some stuff happened. And then I'll reassign mods. Probably the same people. Probably the same people in like 2 weeks. I'll make y'all mods again. Because y'all are really good people. Celine. Hey, Celine. Celine says, hey, Kyle, did you hear about Paul Romano's daughter committing suicide? Yeah, I watched that video today. I watched the first part of it. Actually, it's very sad. I'm very sorry that happened to him. Nadia says, happy resurrection weekend, everyone. He is risen. And like with Paul Romano, I don't want to say that, because like I always, like, it's a bad thing that happened to him. I'm very, like, he's a good man. Like, he's a good man, and that really sucks. But he stopped videos if something really bad happened to his life. Who knows if his daughter, he's depressed about the world or whatever. It just, because he's always like, haha, we just laugh at the laughopolics, right? And sometimes I'm like, well, it seems like he's doing okay, so everybody else that's really suffering in the world, he's just going to laugh at it. But then this happened, and I wasn't thinking anything negative about that. I was just like, well, that's what happens. I mean, we can't laugh at it because the bad things going on in the world affect the people that we love. So it can't just be a joke where we're sitting in a movie theater eating popcorn watching all this evil happen. There are innocent people everywhere suffering, and we must take action, And he does. Paul Romano does. He puts out important information. He brings humor to it, which we need. So and we're all just people, so we're not, nobody's perfect. Nobody does everything perfect. Serendipity Blooming says, blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful Easter weekend. Thank you, Serendipity. Stay says, I think they murdered Kubrick with a do because he spoke out and did Eyes Wide Shut. That could be. Could be. All right, guys. I love y'all. Let's say a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Dear Lord, please give everybody a great Easter weekend. All targeted individuals around the world, just infuse them with strength and peace that surpasses the brain, peace that surpasses everything of the body, the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's supernatural, sciences that we don't even know. Please just help us to find bigger and better solutions, to stop the targeting, to interfere with it so much that they would have to stop, or to just get the program stopped in general. Thank you for everything great that we have in our life. Thank you for that we have each other and our families, the target individuals that have families. Just thank you. We are grateful for our lives, God. Please help us in this. Please help us in this. Please just give us strength, but give us solutions and give us an ending and a way out of some of this evil. Just thank you. Thank you for all that you've given us. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. All right, guys. I love y'all. Y'all have a great Easter weekend. And I'll see y'all soon. It's Easter weekend, so people are going to be doing stuff Sunday. I probably won't do anything Sunday because everybody's going to try and be with their family. Maybe so. We're definitely going to do the panel soon. And Jeff was saying, hey, and Jeff, I'll talk to Jeff and let him know when I'm doing the panel so he can come on. Maybe me and Jeff can start the panel out. That'd be cool. We have a pretty good rapport, Gloria Aquino says, amen. John Stevenson said, God bless you for understanding me. John, you're cool, man, but you gotta see, the two things I just want to say, you got going out to dead ones' graves with respect in my heart, and that's awesome. I think you're responding to everything I say, maybe. I don't know. It's all right, dude. It's all right. I'm not getting on you. It just the thing you want to let other people talk because it makes the chat look a lot better, and it's better information, like everybody talking to each other, right? And then when one person spams the chat, other people stop commenting. They're like, it makes them kind of uncomfortable. So like, this guy's spamming the chat, I'm gonna back up, right? So we want everybody to kind of, it's like a let's let other people talk, and then you can talk, and then they can talk, right? We want that. We really want that on these live streams, guys. If you're a targeted individual, we want that chat to have good conversations in it. So that if a non-TI comes here, and then they see me talking about this stuff that's pretty concrete, right? And then they see y'all saying really smart things, which all y'all really do. I have great targeted individuals that come here. Oh, that's nice, John. What kind of PC is it? Dude, you're getting a Dell. I think I would stick with it. I think I would stick with a PC and not an Apple. Apple has really good editing on it. But I just don't, I'm used to a PC because I worked at Dell, and I have this is an HP that I have here. It's a Pavilion G7. But it's like if I unplug that, like the battery is like something's wrong with it, and if I unplug the thing from it, it'll just shut off. And I've tried new adapters, it's in the computer. Something in the computer's messed up. So I'm gonna get a new computer. I may have to get my mom's help for that. Dennis, thank you so much. Dennis, thank you for the donation. I let everybody know you gave me that donation, and I'm gonna use it. I'm putting that aside. I have some of the other funds, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on new camera microphone. I think I'm gonna do something that's like, I found something that's a camera and a microphone. I'm trying to decide if I want to maybe have webcam microphone and then an extra microphone, shut off the microphone with the webcam and just use it sometimes, but have like an audio mic. But I don't know about that. My voice, I don't think my voice is the most important thing. I kind of have my voice is okay. It's all right. Yeah, Naughty says amen, amen, amen. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all just stay strong. And remember, he was resurrected. He will come again. He will come again. And the time when he doesn't come, before he comes, he said that we would have a helper. A helper will come, right? I want to watch The Passion of the Christ. Could I show that on D Live? It's kind of like bloody. Yeah, I could show that on D Live. I love that movie. I really like Jim Caviezel as Jesus was like my favorite. You know, it seems like what Jesus would be like the most, like quiet, kind of in the way that Jim Caviezel, like his look, it looks like he's just looking to the other side of the world. You know, he just has this very stoic, intelligent, just the look about him. You know. All right, guys, I love y'all. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a great Easter. I forgot it was Easter. Wow. Hey, thanks for coming, Eternity Eternal. And Serendipity Blooming says, thank you, Kyle. Thank you all. Much love. Much love. M. Tanner Kramer says, Kyle, did you get my email? I haven't checked yet. I've been on this live stream, Tanner, but I'll check. I'll check tonight. It might not be right after this, but I'll check tonight, guys. We definitely gotta do something. We'll talk. We'll do a live stream and I'll just talk about that next time. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all stay strong, okay? Judge Judy says, Kyle, did you watch the vid about attacks on Chinese yet? Yeah, seen a lot of that. We'll maybe talk